94 degrees today at historic Hicks Field, and the Steamers are hoping it's a sign of things to come as the Clams look to heat back up in the final week of the season. Just 5 games remaining before playoff time, and luckily for the Steamers, 4 of them are at historic Hicks Field, where they've compiled a 16-5 home record. Hello and welcome into this broadcast of Edenton Steamers Baseball. I'm Luke Milai, bringing you the game on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for game number 33 this season out of 37 in the regular summer for the Steamers before we get to playoff time. And the Steamers are matched up with the Norfolk Redbirds. The Redbirds come into this one at 5-12 overall, 4-11 in Premier Collegiate League play. While the Steamers are 3-1 against Norfolk this season, with that first loss being back on June 14th. That's the last time a team from Virginia has beaten the Steamers this season. The Clams have won 11 straight games against those teams from Virginia. The 4 teams in the PCL being Greenbrier, Norfolk, Suffolk, and Virginia Beach, with the 2 teams from North Carolina being the Edenton Steamers and the Tarboro River Bandits. Not much on the line standings-wise tonight. The Steamers almost virtually locked into that second seed going into the postseason. No matter what, they'll have a home playoff game on August 4th and get a first-round bye through the beginning of the postseason. But still, you want to go into the playoffs playing your best baseball. And the Steamers took a rough loss last night, falling 8-2 to the Tarboro River Bandits. So they're going to take today to try and get back on the right track. And the man leading the way is Logan Fleming. Fleming out there for his first start of the season, officially his first start. He made a start a couple of weeks back against Wake Forest that got rained out in the first inning. So Fleming, just a couple of appearances so far, 4 innings pitched, 6.75 ERA. And he's ready to go here at historic Hicks Field as Jake Gensler will lead things off for the Redbirds. First pitch is hit on one hop over to Chase Bruno. He'll backhand throw to first in time to begin the night at historic Hicks Field. Logan Fleming pitched a lot this spring at Enterprise State Community College. Was teammates with Bryce Stevens at ESCC. He threw in 11 games, went 12-5. He threw 50 innings. Second most of any Steamer coming into the season. Nicky Wolking threw just a couple more, as now Fleming will face Bryce Jones at the plate. The first pitch is a bit outside. And that ball got almost all the way back to Fleming, and Jones is the one to come out and get it. Actually, that was a different ball. I think that one might have come out of the Redbirds bullpen down that right field line. For the Redbirds' sake, hopefully not a sign of things to come from Jacob Regini over there, their starting pitcher tonight. As that pitch is up and away from Fleming. 2-0 to Bryce Jones. Jones out in center field tonight for Norfolk. He'll take that one down low. He's quickly out ahead 3-0 against Fleming. Jones will take that one for a called strike, 3-1. Bryce Jones in 5 games with the Redbirds this season, hitting a tick over 300 at the plate. And he'll send that one the other way into left field for a base hit. It'll be taken on a couple hops by Hunter Cole, and Bryce Jones is aboard with a 1-out single here in the first. And that'll bring Aiden Feather out to the plate now for Norfolk. Feather, one of 8 All-Stars for the Redbirds this season. He's played the most games of any Redbird with 14. He'll swing at the first pitch, pop it up in the infield. Chase Bruno at short is under it. That was way up there. He'll make the catch for out number 2. Couple of one-pitch outs for Logan Fleming, helping out his pitch count here in the first. As Zach Zarnowski's up to the plate now for the Redbirds. Fleming from the stretch. The first pitch is taken for a called strike, 0-1. Zarnowski getting the start over at first base tonight for the Redbirds. They've got a man over at first. That's Bryce Jones, who reached with a single. And now Fleming will throw over, and Jones back in safely. Steamers once again 3-1 against the Redbirds this season. Still have 2 games left against Norfolk, including tonight. They will play them again here tomorrow night. As Jones is off and running. That pitch misses high. Throw down to second is not in time. It's a stolen base for Bryce Jones. And the Redbirds have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The Redbirds were shut out in their last trip to historic Hicks Field. That was a 2-0 win for the Steamers. Trying to manufacture some early runs here, but Zarnowski behind in the count, 1-2. That was a 2-0 win on July 19th. Jacob Lawler started in that game with 6 shutout innings. Lawler's been the starting pitcher for both Steamers shutouts this season. The 1-2 to Zarnowski. Just a bit high, 2-2. Zarnowski hitting .333 through 9 games for the Redbirds this season. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Logan Fleming keeps the Redbirds scoreless here in the first, striking out Zarnowski to end the frame. We'll head to the home half of inning number 1, with the game still scoreless. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers are coming to the plate for the first time tonight. It's Nate Paulson leading things off for the second consecutive night for the Clams. It'll be a familiar foe on the mound, Jacob Regini on the bump for the Redbirds. It's his 3rd start against the Steamers this season. Nate Paulson will take for a called strike, 0-1. Regini started in the last matchup between these teams. That was a 2-0 win for the Steamers. He went 7 innings and didn't allow his runs until that 7th inning. It was Tyler West with the go-ahead infield hit that put the Steamers ahead in that game. 1-1 pitch. Paulson will ground it fouled on the third base line. 1-2. Pregame overall leads the team with 28 2/3 innings pitched. An ERA just over 3 for Pregame, but he's been just about flawless each time he's faced the Steamers. 1-2's up high, 2-2. In his first start against Edenton, that was also here at historic Hicks Field, he went 6 shutout innings. So 13 strong innings this season for Pregame against the Steamers. We'll see if they can figure him out tonight, as Paulson barely able to foul that one off, as that came inside. 2-2 the count. Nate Paulson hitting .354 this season, leading the team with a .468 on-base percentage. Has earned his spot at the top of this order as he swings and misses. It's the first strikeout of the game for Pregame, and it's out number 1 in the first. That'll bring up another man more than deserving to be at the top of this order. Chase Bruno up to the plate. Bruno with a team-high 43 hits this season. So he'll take that one for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Bruno gets to the plate a whole lot. His 145 plate appearances this season are the most of any Steamer. He'll line that one high out to center field, but Bryce Jones makes the catch while backpedaling for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Jacob Pregame on the mound, and that'll bring Alden Cottle up to the plate now for the Steamers. Cottle leaves the first pitch up high, 1-0. Cottle getting the start tonight over at second base. We saw this a bit more earlier in the season when the Steamers used Bryce Stevens a bit more as a pitcher. So that one's fouled straight back. Stevens out tonight. So Cottle taking over that spot at second. Jared Beebe settling in over at third. The 1-1. On the inside corner for a called strike. 1-2. Pregame 1-2. Swung on, hit high out towards center field. Jones moving back towards the gap, looking up at the wall, and it's gone! A solo home run for Alden Cottle, his first home run of the season. And the Steamers are on the board in the first. It is 1-0 Edenton. Alden Cottle, not only is it his first homer of the season, he went the opposite way with it. Giving a little run insurance for Logan Fleming on the mound. As Steamers, they sure needed that after scoring just 2 runs last night. An early run tonight as Jackson Hipp comes to the plate. Cottle, the 13th different Steamer with a home run this season. As Jackson Hipp's up to the plate now for Edenton with a count 1-0. He'll leave that one on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Hipp, the designated hitter tonight, not out in right field. It's occupied by Tyler West. As Hipp will foul that one straight back, 1-2 the count. Jackson hitting .293 this season, a .353 on-base percentage. Been a mainstay at the middle of this Steamers order. He'll send that one the other way down the first base side. Moving over is Zarnowski towards the fence. He'll watch that float out of play. And the count will remain 1-2. Hip, one of the just two steamers to bring home a run last night, had an RBI double against Tarboro last night. One of just two runs the Steamers scored during the game. 1-2, he barely fouls it away again. 1-2 the count. Chase Bruno had the other RBI last night with a ninth inning solo home run. Otherwise, not a lot of offense, at least in terms of timely hitting from the Steamers, stranding a lot of runners on base. As Hip goes up high for that one to foul it straight down, the count will remain 1-2. Already a few foul balls with 2 strikes by Hip to keep the at-bat going. Berghini's ready, the 1-2. Bounces at a foot or two before the plate, 2-2 the count. Good at bat here for Jackson Hip. Steamers assistant Ashton Roy told me during the All-Star game it's all about cues. By that he means quality at bats, and those are at bats that are usually 6 or more pitches that don't end in a strikeout, and Hip has really done a nice job of keeping this at bat alive, but he swings and misses at that one there for the final out of the inning. But the Steamers get on the board in the first. A solo home run from Alden Cottle as the Clams ahead 1-0 as we head to inning number 2. The 2022 Edenton Steamers merchandise is here. There are plenty of ways for you to pick up your Steamers gear. You can visit EdentonSteamers.com and place an order, stop by Sound Feet Shoes of Edenton, or head to the merchandise trailer located behind the first base dugout at historic Hicks Field. You can also pick up some of the brand new Chowan County Cantaloupes gear, but only at historic Hicks Field. Thank you for your support and repping your Steamers gear. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers are out to a 1-0 lead over the Norfolk Redbirds. A solo home run from Alden Cottle. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order for the Redbirds, with shortstop Justin Lakos leading things off. Logan Fleming on the mound for Edenton, his second inning of work. Pitched a scoreless first inning, allowing just 1 hit. In his first official start of the season. And that one's up high to Lakos, 1-0 the count. One O's down low, 2-0 the count to Lakos. Lakos, an all-star for the Redbirds this season. Hitting a bit over 200 for the Redbirds through 13 games. Got 6 total hits this season. 5 of those 6 have been singles. As he'll take on the inside corner for a called strike, 3-1. That one just misses inside to Lakos, ball 4, and he draws a leadoff walk. And that'll bring Trent Jones to the plate with nobody out here in the second. As we've got our first official seeding news of the night, Greenbrier has clinched the number 3 seed with a 7-6 win over the Suffolk Voyagers that just wrapped up over at Lakewood Park tonight. The Steamers sitting in that 2nd seed right now, and it's almost official that's where they'll be unless they win the last 3 games and Tarboro loses their last 2. But otherwise, the Steamers will be locked into that 2nd seed as bunt is shown. Throwback to first. Almost got him. Trent Jones bunted at it and missed. It was a strike, and Jeremiah Boyd threw it back behind Lakos at first. He's back in safely. So 0-1 the count to Jones. We'll see if he shows bunt again. The Redbirds put a man in scoring position with a steal. Now there's a stolen attempt by Lakos, but it's fouled away by Jones, so he'll have to head back to first. It was Bryce Jones in the first who singled, and then he stole second to put himself out there with less than 2 outs. The Redbirds trying to do the same here in the second. Remember, they did not score a run the last time these teams matched up. So trying to do whatever they can, maybe being a little greedy on the base paths. But 0-2 the count to Trent Jones. Lakos stays home this time as that one's a bit high. 1-2. Fleming's ready from the stretch. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. A big strikeout for Fleming. It's his 2nd of the night, and it's out number 1 here in the 2nd. That'll bring Wes Bonney up to the plate now for the Redbirds. Bonney hitting .333 in 10 games this season. Lakos takes off. Bonney will pull back the bunt. It's a called strike, and Lakos is into second safely. Another stolen base for the Redbirds. Their 2nd of this game. And for the 2nd straight inning, the Redbirds have a man out at 2nd with less than 2 outs. Bonney trying to pay things off for Norfolk here. It's behind 0-1 against Logan Fleming. He'll take that one on the outside corner, 0-2. Fleming's done a nice job to the last 2 batters after issuing a leadoff walk to Justin Lakos, getting ahead 0-2 to the last couple of Redbirds. The 0-2, down low, tried to see if Bonney would chase. He'll take down low, 1-2 the count. Bonney, another all-star in this Redbirds lineup. He's starting over at 3rd base tonight. The 1-2, outside in the dirt, 2-2 the count. Logan Fleming, he threw a lot of innings in the spring coming into this season with 50 innings pitched at Enterprise State Community College, but his longest appearance here as a Steamer has only been 2 innings. He's done that twice. As that one's looped over the head of Chase Bruno at short and into left field. They're going to wave Lakos home. Here's the throw from Cole, cut off, and Beebe couldn't get it out of his glove. It's an RBI single for Wes Bonney, and this game is tied 1-1. It's the first run for the Redbirds against the Steamers in a couple of games. And it's the all-star Bonnie tying things up. So now Bonnie's over at first. Trevor Self, the catcher, at the plate for the Redbirds. And we'll see if they're aggressive on the bases with Bonnie. They'll throw back over to keep him close. And speaking of aggressive, that was an aggressive send from Chris Dodolo. That ball was practically in Hunter Cole's hands in left field before Lakos hit third. But a rough transition home by the Steamers defense allowed Lakos to get all the way in as that one's down low to Self, 1-0. Self hitting eighth in this Redbirds lineup with a man over at first. He'll show bunt it foul. So the count will even up 1-1. Trevor Self hitting .200 through 12 games for the Redbirds. Has 6 hits this season, and a lot of these Redbirds have less total hits than a lot of the guys in Edenton. But remember, they've only played 17 games. This being their 18th compared to this being the 33rd for the Steamers. Steamers had a bit of a game's advantage, playing every single game in the month of June that was scheduled, before losing 8 games to rainouts here in July. So that one floats across for a called strike from Fleming, 1-2 the count. Self trying to keep the line moving for the Redbirds, who have 2 hits in this game and 1 in the inning. Fleming from the stretch. Down in the dirt, Jeremiah Boyd keeps it close, and the count will move to 2-2. Self, just like Bonnie over at first, not a lot of extra base hits. Of his 5 hits this season, just 1 for extra bases. That was a double. 2-2 the count between Fleming and Self. The pitch, off and running is Bonnie. That one's outside. No throw from Jeremiah Boyd. Another stolen base for the Redbirds. And the count fills up 3-2. It's the 3rd stolen base already for Norfolk. All 3 runners they've had reach first base have then proceeded to steal second. The 3-2. Swung on, grounded over to third. Beebe's got it. His throw to first is in time for out number 2. Importantly, Bonnie has to hang down at second. Wasn't able to advance on the ground out. And there's 2 outs here in the second as Jason Bosher will come to the plate. Bosher getting the start out in left field for the Redbirds tonight, hitting 9th in the Norfolk order. He'll let the first pitch come across for a called strike, 0-1. Logan Fleming up to 33 pitches in this game through a couple of innings. He's got a long way to go as that one floats in for a called strike. Oh, and 2 the count to Jason Bosher. The 0-2, down low, 1-2. Bosher hitting .280 coming into tonight. He's yet to knock in a run this season. He's got a runner out in scoring position with 2 outs. The 1-2. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Boyd's got to throw to first to finish it off. And he does. Another strikeout for Logan Fleming. That's his third of the night. But the Redbirds get on the board here in the inning. An RBI single from Wes Bonney ties things up. So we'll head to the home half of inning number 2, all square at 1. The Steamers are proud to announce that Venture Tours is the official travel partner of the team for the 2022 season. Venture Tours is a family-owned business specializing in motor coach transportation. The owners have been in the motor coach industry for more than 40 years. A mixture of hard work and family legacy helped to create Venture Tours, one of the most successful motor coach companies in Hampton Roads, coastal Virginia. If you're interested in traveling with Venture Tours, give them a call at 757-494-1480 or visit VentureBusTours.com. A long stretch for us not using Venture Tours. The Steamers with 5 straight home games here near the end of the season. They'll be back on the road on August 2nd in Tarboro to wrap up the regular season. That will be thanks to Venture Bus Tours taking us all out there. And once again, that'll be the final road game, and then from there the Steamers will host a home playoff game here in round 2 of the PCL playoffs. That'll be on August 4th here at historic Hicks Field. The Steamers are already locked into that game. They have a first-round bye clinched, so they move past round 1 on August 2nd. And Tate Abbott up to the plate. He'll move that one into the outfield for a leadoff single. On the first pitch he sees, Tate Abbott has the Steamers' second hit of the night. And remember, the Steamers still in battle with Tarboro. They're in first place in the PCL. Their magic number is at just 1, so that means a River Bandits win or a Steamers loss at any point through the final week of the season would clinch Tarboro that number 1 seed and lock the Steamers into seed number 2. Jeremiah Boyd up to the plate now against Jacob Regini on the mound for his second inning for the Redbirds. Boyd lets the first pitch come across low, 1-0 the count. Jeremiah hitting .271 this season, a .340 on-base percentage, catching tonight for the Steamers after playing as the DH last night. The 1-0. That one's up high, 2-0 the count. Jeremiah trying to get back into the hit column, went 0 for 5 last night against the River Bandits. He's ahead 2-0 against Regini, and he'll throw over on Abbott, and they got him. Caught Abbott a bit too far off the bag, and Regini picks him off for the first out of the inning. And there's 1 out here in the inning. Don't see that too often. You see it a lot more from the Steamers pitching staff. That's a big out for Regini after Abbott had the leadoff single. As Boyd will take up high, 3-0. Regini back to the windup. The 3-0 pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. 3-1. Boyd hitting 6th in the Steamer lineup tonight. It was 5, 6, and 7 due up in the order in the inning as Boyd will swing and pop that one up down the right field line. Moving over is the first baseman Zarnowski, and he'll watch it travel over the fence and out of play. And Regini working back into the count. It's now full at 3-2. Once again for Jacob Regini, it's his 3rd start of the season against the Steamers, and he's pitched very well his last. Coming earlier this month, he went 7 innings, allowed just 2 runs. As he walks Jeremiah Boyd there to put a runner over at first with 1 out. And that pickoff proves all the more important that 1 gave them an out, and 2, it keeps the Steamers without a runner in scoring position when Abbott would have been walked over there thanks to the walk to Boyd. That'll bring Jared Beebe up to the plate now for the Steamers, the 3rd baseman for the Clams tonight. Beebe will sky that one. First base side, Zarnowski will give it a look over the fence and watch it drift out of play. 0-1. Jared Beebe started the last couple of games over at first base for the Steamers, with Steamers taking on the River Bandits of Tarboro a lot. And Tarboro throws a lot of lefties to start games, so Justin Hill and the coaching staff were trying to go with as many right-handed bats as they could. Beebe will ground that one foul. 0-2. But now with Bryce Stevens not playing tonight, they move the versatile Alden Cottle over to second, and versatile man himself, Beebe, heading over to third. And third base is where we had seen him play most of the season before getting moved to first base for this past week. The 0-2, he nearly offers at it. He let it go by on a pitch up and in. 1-2 the count. For Jared, he's hitting .233 this summer with a .385 on-base percentage. This is his 26th game of the season for the Steamers out of 33 they've now played. And he'll swing and miss at that one for strike 3. It's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Regini, and it's out number 2 here in the 2nd. That'll bring Hunter Cole up to the plate now for the Steamers. Hunter Cole had last night off against the River Bandits, and he'll swing at the first pitch and miss. 0-1 the count. For Cole, it's his first start in quite a bit. A lot of games against the Tarboro River Bandits that he came in late. The 0-1, he'll fight that off the other way, over the head of the shortstop, Lakos, and into left field. A broken bat single for Hunter Cole with 2 outs here in the 2nd. That'll bring Tyler West up to the plate with 2 outs in the 2nd. The man that broke the tie the last time these teams played. West with the 7th inning go-ahead infield hit that put the Steamers on the board in that game. They took a 2-0 lead and went on to win by that score. So Tyler West back in the lineup against the Redbirds tonight. He's getting the start out in right field for the Steamers. West hitting 9th in the Steamers' order today as Regini from the stretch floats that one a bit outside. 1-0 the count. Tyler West hitting .182 coming into tonight, a .250 on-base percentage for West. Tyler's got 2 men on with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. He'll swing and miss at that one. 1-1 the count. West last played on Monday against the River Bandits, went 0 for 3 in that game, did reach on a walk that night. What was a 13-9 Steamers win. The 1-1. West swings and misses, 1-2. Berghini trying to settle in and strand some Steamers on the bases. That was the story of last night. The Steamers leading 8 runners on the bases, 8 in scoring position in the first 5 innings last night. Trying to take advantage with Jeremiah Boyd down at second right now here in the second inning. The 1-2 to West. Swing and a miss. He got him. The second strikeout of the inning for Berghini, his 4th of the game. We'll head to inning number 3 here at historic Hicks Field, all tied at 1. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers are hosting the Norfolk Redbirds. They're all tied up at 1 through 2. So we're back to the top of the Redbirds order. 1, 2, 3 due up in the Redbirds lineup here in the third. It'll be Jake Gensler leading things off against Logan Fleming back on the mound for his third inning of work for Edenton. Gensler will swing and miss at the first pitch, 0-1. So tonight, a battle of the second place and fifth place teams in the Premier Collegiate League. The Redbirds at 4-11 in PCL play, just one game ahead of last place, the Suffolk Voyagers, who lost tonight. And one game behind fourth place, the Virginia Beach Sea Dogs. The Greenbrier Knights have already locked themselves into the third spot, as Gensler will chop that one foul. The Steamers are almost all but guaranteed to be in this second spot with Tarboro in number 1. So it's really that fourth and fifth spot between Virginia Beach and Norfolk that is still up in the air. Both teams playing tonight. Virginia Beach out in Tarboro against the River Bandits. And the Redbirds, of course, here at historic Hicks Field. Gensler at the plate. He grounded out his only time up tonight against Fleming. He saw only one pitch in that at bat, trying to go a bit longer here in inning number 3. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Fleming went inside. It's another strikeout for Fleming. It's his 4th of the game, and it's out number 1 here in the third. That'll bring Bryce Jones up to the plate now for Norfolk. He singled in his only at-bat tonight. He'll show bunt. He'll get one down right in front of the plate. Jeremiah Boyd comes from behind home to get it, and a quick throw out for out number 2. It's a good bunt there from Jones, and an even better play by Jeremiah Boyd. Two quick outs here in the third as Aiden Feather comes to the plate. Now for the Redbirds. Feather was here all of All-Star Weekend representing Norfolk, was here for the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. He actually came on the broadcast during the Home Run Derby. So he'll take a called strike. He was knocked out in round number 1 on Friday night's Derby, so he came up to join myself and Hayden Bandel, the announcer for the 4 Virginia teams in the PCL. He talked about how it was just an honor to be out here. He wanted to win, but he didn't really care what the end result was. He was just happy to be here to represent his team, to be recognized as one of the 8 best home run hitters in this league, one of the 12 best. He was one of 12 participants sent to the Derby, 2 from each team. He's got an even count, 1-1 with Logan Fleming on the mound. So that one's down low, 2-1. Feather popped out at his only at-bat tonight. That was over to short to Chase Bruno. Trying to reach here in the third for the Redbirds. Fleming from the windup. Down in the dirt, 3-1. Fleming still looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night after he's faced just above the minimum hitters in each of the first and second innings. Trying to keep this game tied for the Steamers offense. Fleming's ready, the 3-1. Down low, ball 4, and Feather works a 2-out walk. It's the second walk issued by Fleming tonight. And there's a man over at first with 2 down here in the third. Zach Zarnowski will come up to the plate now as the inning's extended with 2 outs. Fleming a long stare, and he's ready from the stretch. His pitch up high, 1-0. It's a hot night out there on the field here in Edenton. 94 degrees at the start time of this game. And if you look over into the Steamers dugout, it's a lot of guys holding anything they can find and waving it in their face like a fan. Gage Riddick, he's at the front of the dugout sitting next to assistant coach Ashton Roy. Riddick's using his hat to wave as a fan, and Roy's got a binder full of notes that he's using to keep himself cool. As Fleming will throw over once again. Head coach Justin Hill has the sheet of paper that looks like it was used for the lineup that he's got as he leans over the brick fence about 4 feet high in that Steamers dugout. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. The Redbirds have been aggressive on the bases so far. We'll see if Feather continues that aggressiveness. Each runner they've had get over to first base, they've had all 3 of them steal second. And they've all done it successfully. 3 for 3 on stolen base attempts for the Redbirds. The 1-1 is popped up by Zarnowski down the right field line. Abbott comes over from first, and he'll watch that one float over the fence and out of play. 1-2 the count to Zarnowski. He's already struck out once tonight. Fleming's just 1 strike away from wrapping this inning up. Fleming in his first start of the season for the Steamers. The 1-2. Swung on, poked the other way, and foul over the fence and out of play by Zarnowski. He'll stay alive. Zach Zarnowski hitting a bit over 300 through 10 games with the Redbirds this season. He's knocked in 7 runs for Norfolk in just those 10 games this summer. The 1-2. He'll take it down low for a ball. Jeremiah Boyd quick to get it. And the count will even up 2-2. The Redbirds with 2 hits in this game tonight. They've also reached on a couple of walks. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Steamers with 3 hits and 1 walk. So each team's had 4 guys reaching this game. That one swung on and missed, strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Logan Fleming. And he keeps this game tied as we head to the home half of inning number 3 at historic Hicks Field. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field as Nate Paulson will lead things off for the Steamers. Clams back to the top of the order up against Jacob Regini on the mound for his 3rd inning of work for the Redbirds. And Nate will take inside for a ball, 1-0. Paulson struck out his first time up against Jacob Regini, one of 4 strikeouts for the right-hander on the mound tonight, as Paulson will foul that one away, 1-1 the count. Regini's thrown 30 pitches tonight for the Redbirds. Remember last time these teams faced, he went 7 innings as Paulson floats that one out to the middle of the field. A leaping catch by Aiden Feather is made for out number 1. That one got a bit inside on Paulson as he tried to fight it off. And that'll bring Chase Bruno up to the plate. Bruno up for the Steamers in a tie ball game, hitting 2nd in the order tonight, after hitting 3rd there last night. So he'll take up high for a ball, 1-0. Steamers once again knowing that Chase Bruno leads the team with 43 hits, trying to get as many guys on base ahead of him as possible. That's why we've seen a lot of Bryce Stevens and Nate Paulson now getting ahead of Bruno in the order, because those are some of the most effective guys at getting on for the Steamers. And with Bryce Stevens being out tonight, it's just Nate Paulson that sits ahead of Chase. The 1-1. He'll swing and send that one high out towards right field. Moving in is Trent Jones, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Two different Joneses in the outfield. Bryce is out in center field and Trent in right field. Unable to finish it off in left field. That's where Jason Bosher resides tonight. And a quick 2 outs now for the Steamers offense as Alden Cottle will come up to the plate. Cottle had a big hit his first time up as he'll take inside for a ball. Cottle sent a solo home run out to right center field to put the Steamers on the board. It's his first home run of the season. And the only run for the Clams tonight is that one's inside. 2-0 the count. The 2-0 pitch gets Cottle in the back, so he's reached for the second time tonight. And he's aboard with 2 outs here in the third. We'll see if the Steamers can take advantage of the 2-out hit by pitch from Regini as Jackson Hipp comes up to the plate. Hipp batting cleanup tonight for Edenton in that designated hitter role for the Steamers. That one gets him in the back, so back-to-back hit batters on back-to-back pitches from Regini, and the Steamers have runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Regini struggling to throw inside to some of these right-handed batters. And now head coach Chris Totolo out there to have a chat with Regini as he tries to regain some of his grip. Wiping his hand in the dirt, grabbing the dirt. Totolo looking over to see who's up at the plate. It's the lefty Tate Abbott due up for the Steamers. So maybe that'll be better for Regini. He's hit back-to-back right-handed bats. And this is an extended meeting at the mound. I don't think the home plate umpire is too concerned about breaking it up, as now Totolo will head back to the dugout. We'll see if he had the magic words for Jacob Regini, who once again has pitched very well against the Steamers this season. But the Clams threatening to break things open in the third. The Steamers stranded a couple of men on back in the second, trying to avoid doing the same here in inning number 3 with Abbott up to the plate. Abbott's got one of 3 Steamers hits tonight, had a single back in the second. And he'll take that one up and away. 1-0 the count to Tate. Abbott didn't play last night against the River Bandits. Once again, the Steamers were going with that all-righty lineup. And after playing the River Bandits for a couple games in a row, we haven't seen a ton of Tate Abbott as of late. So that one's down low, 2-0. But Abbott's done a nice job taking advantage of his opportunities this season. At Catawba Valley Community College this upcoming spring. Didn't get a ton of at-bats this past year, so he's got 80 ABs this summer, hitting .250 with a .344 on-base percentage. And an integral part of this Steamers offense this season as he'll chop that one over to the first base side and foul. 2-1 the count. Abbott's got Alden Cottle down at second and Jackson Hipp over at first. They were both hit by a pitch. They were hit with consecutive pitches from Jacob Regini. 2-1. Abbott lines that one out towards center field. Moving in is Jones, and he'll make the lunging catch. Abbott hit it hard, but right at Bryce Jones for the final out of the inning. The Steamers strand 2 more on the bases and will head to the 4th here in Edenton, still tied at 1. Every year, the Steamers are proud to have the opportunity to raise money for the Jim Catfish Hunter ALS Foundation. Tomorrow night, Friday, July 29th, the Steamers will wear special themed jerseys that will be auctioned off during the game. Proceeds will go towards the fight to strike out ALS. Catfish Hunter is a Major League Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher that lived just a short distance from historic Hicks Field and was even a host family for the Steamers organization in its inaugural year. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with ALS over 20 years ago. And the Steamers will continue to carry on his legacy and do their part to strike out ALS. We thank you for your support of a great cause. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field as the Steamers are taking on the Norfolk Redbirds. They're all tied at 1 through 3. As we're set to begin the 4th inning here in Edenton. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. And the Redbirds ordered 2 up. It'll be Justin Lakos leading things off. Lakos scored the only run of the night for the Redbirds against the man on the mound, Logan Fleming, who started this game. Working into his 4th inning, he's been solid. Just 1 run and just 2 hits for the Redbirds offense. As Lakos will take that one inside for a ball, 1-0. On top of those hits, Fleming's issued a few walks, and that's how Lakos reached. He walked in his only plate appearance tonight as he fouls that one back. Remember, the Steamers just trying to get back on the right track tonight after a tough 8-2 loss to the Tarboro River Bandits last night. They had played their last 3 games against Tarboro, so it's just good for them to see some other teams. And as mentioned, with the first round bye already locked up in the postseason, a home game here in round 2 on August 4th. The Steamers are bound to play one of the 4 teams from Virginia, so it's good to see as many of them as you can right before the season wraps up. And the Redbirds once again right now sitting in 5th place in the PCL. That first round will be the 3 seed versus the 6 seed and the 4 versus the 5 seed. Both those games will take place at Lakewood Park on August 2nd. Lakos grounds that one over to third. Backhanded by Beebe. He'll throw across his body and not in time. Lakos able to beat it out with an infield single, and he's aboard with nobody out in the 4th. It's the 2nd time Lakos has reached tonight. Trent Jones up to the plate now for the Redbirds with nobody out in the 4th. And it was Justin Lakos reaching to lead off the 2nd inning that led to the Redbirds' only run. Fleming on the mound looking to avoid having the same fate. Fleming will throw over. A nice pick by Tate Abbott at first on a ball that was near the dirt. And they keep Lakos close and don't give away the ball. So Fleming back to the stretch as he faces Jones, who Trent Jones struck out his first time up. Abbott again has to go down low and block that one with his body. Something we've seen from Tate all season over there at first. A good defensive first baseman. I think He's more known for his bat, a good hitting first baseman from the left side of the plate, but does a real nice job with the glove over there at first. So that one's floated out towards left field. Moving in is Hunter Cole, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Something Abbott's always told me is if it's not in the air, he's a vacuum. So we've seen him struggle with some pop-ups this season, albeit he's been very solid the last couple of weeks on those pop-ups. But again, anything that's been on a line or on the ground, he seems to gobble up everything he sees. Wes Bonney up to the plate now for the Redbirds. Had the RBI single back in the second inning to put the Redbirds ahead, and now off and running was Lakos. That one's fouled away to the right side. 0-1 the count. And the Redbirds, they're just trying to set up the same situation. They've got 3 stolen bases already, and they're trying to get Lakos out there in scoring position for Bonney. That's exactly how it went back in the second inning. Lakos led off with a walk, and then he was able to steal second. And Bonney eventually knocked him in on a hit to left field. The 0-1 this time, they'll throw back over on Lakos. He's in safely. You'd have to imagine head coach Chris Dodolo of the Redbirds wants to keep being aggressive. Again, they didn't score the last time these teams met up. Trying to create as many opportunities as they can. And again, Fleming will throw over. And they're a team that doesn't get a lot of extra base hits. A lot of the guys in this lineup, with a majority of their hits this season being singles. And Dodolo trying to maximize their chance to score if they get 2 singles in an inning. So that one's outside. Boyd will throw behind Lakos at first, and he's barely in safely. But again, if you get 2 singles in an inning and the first guy's still at first base, he's not going to score. But if the guy who hit the first single's out in scoring position, you've always got a chance to round third and head for home. And that's what happened on the only run they scored. Not that I'm coming up with any revolutionary information here, as Lakos will take off, and again, it's fouled to the right side by Bonney. 1-2 the count. And Lakos got good jumps on his 2 attempts at a stolen base in this at-bat, and both of Bonney's foul balls have forced him to head back to first. Bonney starting over at third base tonight for the Redbirds. And again, Fleming throws over. Lakos having to get a bit tired over there. He's already tried to steal a couple of bases. He's had to dive back in 4 times in this at-bat. Fleming's going to run him out of gas before he has the chance to steal again. And now he'll take off the 1-2. That one's grounded over to second and through for a base hit. And the Redbirds are going to get runners at the corners with 1 out. And that was a perfectly placed shot because Alden Cottle went to cover the bag at second on the steal. And Bonney hit it right at where Cottle would have been. But a little hit and run action there for the Redbirds puts runners at the corners. It's the second hit of the game for Bonney. His first and third, just 1 out here in the 4th. Trevor Self up at the plate now for the Redbirds, looking to put them ahead for the first time tonight. Fleming's ready from the stretch. His first pitch taking off is Bonney. That one's a called strike, and Bonney has second base stolen. Another stolen base for the Redbirds. And they've got 2 in scoring position now with 1 out. Lakos didn't get a stolen base on his last attempt in the Bonney at bat, but it opened up a hole for the Bonney single, and he advanced to third on the hit. So 4 stolen bases for the Redbirds. So that one swung on and missed by Self, 0-2. Logan Fleming trying to lock in here in inning number 4 and keep this game tied. He's facing the 8th hitter in the Redbirds lineup, Trevor Self. He grounded out his only time at the plate tonight. The 0-2. Up high, 1-2. Fleming tried to get him to chase. Self holds off, so the count will remain 1-2. Self catching behind the plate tonight for the Redbirds defensively, but trying to be a factor offensively here in the 4th inning. The 1-2. Fought off the other way, and diving stop by Alden Cottle at second. He'll make the throw to first for out number 2. A run does score on the ground out, so the Redbirds are ahead 2-1 on the RBI ground out from Trevor Self. But that was a real impressive play from Alden Cottle. If that gets past him, that ball's so softly hit, Bonnie would have definitely come home to score from second. So a run does come home, but Cottle's stop keeps a runner over at third. So 2 outs in the inning. Jason Boscher at the plate as the Redbirds lead 2-1. Boscher will take, and it just misses. 1-0 the count. Boscher struck out his only time up against Fleming tonight. He'll swing at the 1-0 and foul it to the right side. And out of play, 1-1 the count. Boscher starting out in left field for the Redbirds tonight, hitting 9th in the order. And it's been the bottom of this order that's done damage for the Redbirds. Both RBIs coming from the 7th and 8th hitters in the lineup. He'll fight that one off the other way again. Foul to the right side. 1-2 the count now to Boscher. The Redbirds trying to grow their lead. The Steamers trying to keep this thing at a 1-run ball game. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Logan Fleming with his 4th strikeout of the night to get the Steamers out of the inning. But the Redbirds do put another on the board in the 4th. It's an RBI ground out from Trevor Self to put the Redbirds ahead. It is 2-1 Norfolk as we head to the home half of inning number 4. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicksfield, where the Steamers are trailing the Norfolk Redbirds 2-1. As we're set to begin the bottom half of inning number 4. It'll be Jeremiah Boyd leading things off for the Steamers against Jacob Regini, still on the mound for the Redbirds, who again are trying to climb a bit higher in the standings heading into next week's postseason. The Redbirds currently in 5th in the PCL, coming into tonight with the 4th place Virginia Beach Sea Dogs out in Tarboro playing the River Bandits. Just one game separates those two, so a lot on the line for them tonight. The Steamers all but officially locked into that 2 seed where they'll get that first round bye, along with Tarboro, the 1 seed. It's the top 2 seeds in the 16 postseason get the bye. So the Steamers' first playoff game set to be on August 4th. As the first round of the postseason, with the 4 teams from Virginia, they'll play 2 games at Lakewood Park on August 2nd. The 2-0 to Boyd's up and away, 3-0 the count. Steamers working from behind against the Redbirds. They're trailing. It's something they haven't done against Norfolk in quite a while. They lost here to the Redbirds 4-0 on June 14th. That's the only win for the Redbirds over the Steamers this season. The Steamers hold a 3-1 season series advantage. The 3-1 from Regini is swung on, hit high in the air out to left field. Moving back is Bosher, and he can only watch it fly. A home run for Jeremiah Boyd. It's his 7th of the season. He's got the most on the Steamers this summer, and this game is all tied at 2. It's the 2nd solo home run of the night for Edenton. And we're locked up here in the 4th. Jeremiah's been on some kind of streak with the home runs as of late. That's 3 home runs in his last 3 games. He had 2 home runs back on Monday against the River Bandits, and he adds another one tonight. So that one's a called strike to Jared Beebe, who's up at the plate, 0-1. That one's fouled straight back, 0-2. Jared Beebe getting the start over at third base tonight for the Steamers. Struck out in his only at-bat against Regini on the mound. And he fights that one off, a little pop-up onto the right side. And Zarnowski, the first baseman's under it to make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring Hunter Cole up to the plate now for the Steamers. Cole out in left field tonight for Edenton. Hitting 8th in the Steamers order. He'll take that one across for a called strike on the outer half. 0-1 the count. Cole's 1 for 1 in this game. Singled in his only at bat tonight. And he swings and misses at that one. 0-2 the count. Cole, the all-star this season in the outfield for the Steamers. One of 3 outfield representatives they had in the all-star game. That one's a bit outside. 1-2. Nate Paulson and Jackson Hibb joined Hunter Cole as the Steamers' all-star outfielders. As Cole takes that one in the dirt, 2-2. This season, Cole hitting .194, a .275 on-base percentage. As he grounds that one over to second, Feathers got it. He'll throw to first in time for out number 2. A quick couple of outs for Regini after allowing that home run as Tyler West will come to the plate. Tyler West out in right field tonight for the Steamers, and he'll swing and miss at the first pitch he sees. 0-1 the count. West struck out his only time against Regini tonight. That one misses for a ball. 1-1 the count. The 1-1. A big swing and a miss from West. 1-2. Tyler taking some big hacks here in his second at bat of the night. Steamers with 4 hits. The Redbirds also with 4 hits. They're tied at 2 as West takes that one on the outside corner. Called strike 3 to wrap up the 4th inning. It's strikeout number 5 for Jacob Regini. But the Steamers get on the board here in the 4th to tie things up. A solo home run for Jeremiah Boyd makes us all tied at 2 as we head to the 5th. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field, where we've got our first pitching change of the night for the Steamers. Cameron Lewis into the game for Edenton. It's his first appearance since June 16th. So it's good to see him out here. He relieves Logan Fleming, who went the first 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. Lewis, with just 4 appearances this season, missed a lot of time with an arm injury, and he's been ready to come back for the last about week and a half, so good to see him out on the mound as he'll face the top of the Redbirds order. Lewis's first pitch is up high for a ball to Jake Gensler, leading things off for Norfolk. 1, 2, and 3 in the Redbirds lineup due up with Gensler leading things off. Gensler takes that one up and away, 2-0. So for Lewis, he's pitched in 4 games this season, a little over 8 innings, a 3.12 ERA. 2 of those 4 appearances were scoreless. Trying to add a 3rd scoreless outing here tonight. The 2-0's way outside, 3-0 to Gensler. Gensler 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out and struck out as the DH in Norfolk's lineup. .30 pitch, a bit off the plate, ball 4. So Gensler walks on 4 pitches to begin the inning. And the Redbirds have a man over at first. Lewis gonna take his time to settle back into things. Once again, over a month without pitching in a game. It's a lot of an adjustment to get back on that mound for the first time. And he'll face Bryce Jones for the second hitter of the inning. Jones will swing and fight that one off the other way. 0-1 the count. Bryce Jones 1 for 2 tonight. He singled back in the first and tried to lay down a bunt for a hit his last time up, but he was thrown out by Jeremiah Boyd. The 0-1. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Boyd. 0-2 the count. So Lewis starting to put some over the plate and get ahead of Jones. Bryce out in center field tonight for the Redbirds. One of 2 Joneses in the outfield with Trent Jones in right field. And time is called for the count 0-2. Each team's held the lead tonight, and each team's held the lead for a very short amount of time. The Steamers took the lead in the bottom of the first before the Redbirds tied it in the top of the second. And then the Redbirds took the lead in the top of the fourth before the Steamers tied it in the bottom of the fourth. So we've been pretty even all night as that one's inside. It gets by Jeremiah Boyd, and Gensler will advance over to second. So a runner out in scoring position with nobody out for the Redbirds. They've done most of their damage advancing tonight on stolen bases. That time, Gensler able to advance on a ball that got past Boyd. Jones trying to knock in Gensler, or even at the very least move him over to third with less than 2 outs. The 1-2. He'll put the bat on the ball, send it back through the middle for a base hit. They're going to send Gensler home, and it got through Nate Paulson in center field. It went under his glove. He's got to go back to get it. And the Redbirds quickly retake the lead here in the 5th. It's an RBI single from Bryce Jones, who then advances to second on the error. So now the Redbirds, some nice 2-strike hitting there from Jones. They've still got a man down at second and nobody out. Head coach Chris Totolo has been eager to send people over. He's coaching third base as well for the Redbirds. And Steamers have been able to get the ball in too cleanly from the outfield all the way to the plate, allowing both runs to score. 2 of the 3 to score for the Redbirds. So Lewis trying to limit the damage and keep this at just a 1-run game with Aiden Feather at the plate. Feather will take outside, 2-0. And remember, just for reference, the Steamers have not lost to a team other than the Tarboro River Bandits since back on June 14th. Their last 8 losses have come to the River Bandits. So that one's up high, 3-0. They've had some close games within that stretch. A couple of close ones with Greenbrier and a couple of close ones with these Redbirds. But more often than not, they've come out on top in those close ones thanks to stellar pitching. Usually a couple of shutouts mixed in there, a couple of 1-run games. As Lewis's pitch is outside, ball 4. It's Feather walking for the second time tonight in the Redbirds with runners at first and second and nobody out. And now Justin Hill, the Steamers head coach, going to go out to have a chat with his right-hander. Lewis from West Virginia State University goes there with Tyrus Bumgarner and Nate Paulson. The 3 Steamers that came here from once being the Yellow Jackets this spring. And a quick meeting for Justin Hill on the mound. Maybe just trying to reel things in and relax Cameron as Zach Zarnowski's up to the plate. Zarnowski's showing bunt with 2 men on. And that one's in the dirt, 1-0. Zarnowski 0 for 2 in this game with a couple of strikeouts as the corners of the Steamers defense and Tate Abbott at first base on the infield grass in case Zarnowski goes to show bunt again. Jared Beebe near the grass, but he may go back to cover third as that one's down. Lewis picks it up, and he's unable to scoop it. His throws to first, and that is in time for out number 1. Nice play there from Cameron Lewis to get the first out of the inning. As the Redbirds do move 2 into scoring position. The bunt is successful for Zach Zarnowski. He got the job he wanted to achieve done. And I think Lewis thought about going 3. I think he would have had him if he could have picked the ball up cleanly. Instead goes and at least gets 1 out over at first. So that'll bring Justin Lakos up to the plate with 2 in scoring position and 1 out. Lakos leaves that one up high, 1-0. Lakos has reached twice in 2 plate appearances tonight. He's walked and has an infield hit. The 1-0. That one's grounded foul on the third base side, 1-1. For Cameron Lewis on the mound. Remember, it's his first inning since June 16th. This is the 5th batter he's faced in the inning. Came in against the top of the Redbirds lineup. The 1-1 up high. They throw back to third, and back in safely at third is Bryce Jones. Two and 1 the count now for Lakos. He'll swing and miss at that one. A big pitch from Lewis. 2-2 the count. The Redbirds up to 5 hits in this game with 1 RBI hit already in this inning, compared to 4 hits and 2 runs for the Steamers. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. A big strikeout for Cameron Lewis, and that's out number 2 in the 5th. And that'll bring Trent Jones up to the plate now for the Redbirds. Trying to pay off the runners they've got out in scoring position, but 2 outs in the inning. Swung on, hit high on the right field line, tailing into foul territory. Abbott over from first, and he'll make the catch. Cameron Lewis able to strand 2 in scoring position to keep the deficit at just 1. The Redbirds do get on the board in the inning thanks to an RBI single from Bryce Jones. We'll head to the home half of inning number 5 with the Steamers trailing by 1. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers find themselves in another small hole, trailing by 1 to the Norfolk Redbirds as we're set to begin the bottom half of inning number 5. Nate Paulson will lead things off for the Steamers in the 5th. He'll send the first pitch he sees high into the air out to shallow center field. Bryce Jones moving in from center. He'll make the catch for out number 1.
Number 4, Chase Bruno.
Chase Bruno up to the plate now for the Steamers. Bruno 0 for 2 in this game. He's flown out a couple of times against Regini. Regini's been very solid on the mound. 4 1/3 so far, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. He struck out 5. And despite allowing a couple of home runs, he's got his team in the lead. The 0-1 up high, 1-1. The 2 home runs for the Steamers tonight coming from Alden Cottle and Jeremiah Boyd, both solo shots for Edenton. 1-1 is hit high into the air, down the left field line, tailing towards the corner. And it'll drop fouling out of play right up at the wall, where Jason Bosher, the left fielder, gave it chase. A long strike for Chase Bruno, 1-2 the count. Once again, Bruno 0 for 2 tonight. He's got a hit in all but 3 games this season, this being his 32nd of the summer. He'll take a pitch up over his head, 2-2 the count. Steamers put up 2 last night against the Tarboro River Bandits. Bruno put up the second run with a solo home run in the 9th inning. As he'll send that one high into the air, tailing towards the line. Bosher moving over from left, and he'll make the catch right up near the Steamers' bullpen for out number 2. That'll bring Alden Cottle up to the plate now with 2 outs in the first. Cottle takes that one up high, 1-0. It's been a good night for Alden. He's put the Steamers on the board with a solo home run back in the first. He was then hit by a pitch in his second plate appearance, so he's reached twice tonight. Takes that down low, 2-0 the count. Regini will take a long walk behind the mound. Two-0 is taken on the outside corner, 2-1. Alden playing over at second base defensively tonight for the Steamers, moving over from third, his usual spot, with Bryce Stevens not able to play tonight. That one was a bit outside. 3-1 now the count to Cottle with 2 outs here in the 5th. And that one's up and in. It got him in the back. So Alden's hit by a pitch for the 2nd time tonight. And he's aboard for the 3rd time in this game. That on-base percentage continues to rise for Alden Cottle. It was already at .374 coming into this game. And that'll bring Jackson Hipp up to the plate. Hipp, who's also been hit by a pitch in this game, reached in his last plate appearance. The last time Cottle was hit, Hipp was hit on the next pitch, and that one's up and in on Hipp. So nearly for the 2nd time, back-to-back hit by pitches. This time it's only Cottle, and now the middle infield coming in to talk with Regini. Maybe just a matter of not wanting to miss in the wrong spot to guys like Cottle or guys like Jackson Hipp. And it looks like Jackson, with a little smile on his face, knows it's not on purpose. But still never fun to see a ball coming up and in. So Hip stands back in with the count 1-0. Regini working from the stretch. And now they'll throw over. Back in safely as Cottle. Jackson, he's only reached tonight with that hit by pitch. He struck out his first time at the plate. Trying to get on for the second time in this game and keep the line moving here in the fifth. The Steamers down a run. He'll take that one a bit off the plate. 2-0. Jackson had a big RBI double last night against the River Bandits. It accounted for the only run through the first 8 innings for Edenton in that game, before Chase Bruno had that aforementioned home run in the ninth. Hip swinging 2-0 and misses. 2-1 the count. Jackson in that cleanup spot tonight. Designated hitting for the Steamers. Getting the night off from being out in right field tonight. Tyler West taking over those duties for Edenton. That one's up high. 3-1 the count now to Hip. Jackson standing in against Jacob Reguini, trying to keep his team ahead, and now he'll throw over to first. And we'll have to wait for the 3-1. The 3-1. Hip swings and sends it high out towards left field. Moving back is Bosher towards the wall, and it is gone! A 2-run home run for Jackson Hip, and the Steamers take a 4-3 lead. A 2-out rally here for the Steamers. It's their 3rd home run of the night. And they're back on top against the Redbirds, 4-3. Every time the Steamers have needed a big hit, the home run's been the thing to do it for them. Alden Cottle put them ahead 1-0 with a solo home run. Then Jeremiah Boyd tied the game 2-2 with a home run. And now Jackson Hip puts them ahead 4-3 with a 2-run home run. The Steamers finally getting to Jacob Reguini on the mound for the first time this season. As Tate Abbott's up to the plate now for the Steamers, and he'll get under that one and lift it out to shallow left center field. Moving in from center is Bryce Jones. He'll make the catch for the final out. But the Steamers take the lead in their home half of the fifth. A 2-run home run from Jackson Hip as the Steamers ahead 4-3 as we head to the sixth. Venture Tours is excited to announce the return of their Atlantic City Casino Day trips. You don't have to break your piggy bank to visit Atlantic City for the day. Tickets are $85 and you must be 21 years or older to participate. The trip includes $35 in free slot play at Resorts Casino. These Saturday trips offer exciting escorted trips where you can ride in comfort and luxury. If you're interested in traveling with Venture Tours, give them a call at 757-494-1480 or visit VentureBusTours.com. Venture Tours, the official travel partner of the Steamers for the 2022 season. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers just took the lead on a 2-run home run from Jackson Hipp. And now they've got a new man on the mound, Chris Morris. Into the game now for Edenton, relieving Cameron Lewis. Lewis went 1 inning in relief, allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and 1 earned run. He struck out 1 as well in his first game back in over a month. So now Morris, one of the most used relievers on this Steamers team. He's out here for his 12th appearance of the season. He's thrown 20 2/3 innings. He's compiled a 4-1 record, a 2.61 ERA. Chris has been fantastic overall for the Steamers this season. And he'll face Wes Bonney to lead things off here in the 6th. It's 7-8-9 in the Redbirds lineup, due up here in the inning. Wes Bonney swings and misses at that one, 1-1. Bonney's 2 for 2 in this game. Has an RBI single and had a hit in his last at bat as well. Bonney, the all-star, getting the start over at third base for the Redbirds, who have gone back and forth with the second-place Steamers all night. So we've been on the seesaw on the scoreboard. But the Redbirds now find themselves trailing once again. Bonney trying to get them back on the right foot against one of the most reliable relievers here in Edenton. That one's up and in, 2-1 the count to Bonney. So that one's down and away, 3-1 the count. That one's a called strike. 3-2 the count. Three and two the count now to Bonney. Morris's pitch. Swing and a miss. Chris Morris wins the battle. His first strikeout of the game and out number 1 here in the 6th. It's the 8th strikeout for Steamers pitching so far in this game, as we'll have a new hitter up at the plate for Norfolk. Ben Adams up to the plate for the first time. Adams at the plate. He's hitting in the spot of Trevor Self. Self was catching and went 0 for 2, but had an RBI ground out his last time up. Let's put one of the 3 runs on the board for Norfolk. So now Coach Totolo turning to his bench unit, seeing if they've got any big swings in them. As the first pitch to Adams is outside for a ball, 1-0. Adams just 1 hit in 15 at-bats this season, as he'll foul that one away. 1-1 the count. It's his first time at the plate against the Steamers this season. So that one's inside. 2-1 the count. That one's outside. 3-1 the count. With Adams at the plate. with 1 out here in the 6th. That one is swung and hit right back into center field for a base hit. Just the 2nd hit of the season for Adams. There's a man over at first with 1 out in the inning. Another new hitter in the Redbirds lineup, Jackson Hughes up to the plate. Now for the Redbirds. Hughes, the 2nd new hitter of the inning for the Redbirds. Couple of new hitters in this inning, and we've got a new man on the broadcast, Logan Fleming, fresh off the start tonight. Logan, thank you for coming up here to join me. How you feeling after that start?
I feel good. I'm a little tired right now, but that'll go away.
And how'd it feel to be out there? You've had a couple of relief appearances this season for the Steamers, but finally getting the chance to start after your first start got rained out against Wake Forest. How'd it feel to start a game?
Oh, it felt awesome. Since it's what I'm most comfortable with, and I had a really good start in my opinion. There was a couple of things that didn't go my way, but that's baseball, so you just got to get over them. But overall, I'm very happy with the start.
Had your team in a good spot when you left the game. They're now ahead 4-3. Chris Morris has the count 1-2 to Hughes. That one's poked out to second. It'll be taken on not a hop. It was caught out of the air.
That looked like it was on a hop.
By Alden Cottle. I think he tried to let it be on a hop.
I think it was definitely on a hop.
Second base umpire called it an out. Trying to get that double play, but it is still out number 2 here in the 6th as we're back to the top of the order. It'll be Jake Gensler, Jake Gensler being pinch hit for by Jack Morick. So as these Virginia teams tend to do, a lot of new hitters coming into the game halfway through the game. Now, Logan, for you, when you see guys 2-3 times through, I know the normal adage is that it's easier for a hitter seeing a pitcher, but does it help you familiarize with these guys when you see them 2 or 3 times through the order?
Oh, definitely. Just because I like to switch my mindset up when the lineup comes back through a second time. So for me, usually I go majority fastballs first time through because they haven't seen my velo yet, and they're worried about the off speed. But if you just go ahead and blow one by them, makes all the difference. But the second time through, I mix in a lot more off speeds and keep them guessing, so I can play that off my fastball and not just have to rely on all off speed. And then third time through, I like to go fastball again.
Yeah, just keep them guessing. And speaking of keeping them guessing, I don't know how many times you've gotten to see Chris pitch since you've been here, but he's a guy that, especially when there's nobody on base, he will mix up the speed of his windup more than anyone I've ever seen. He'll do 3 leg kicks. He'll do a slide step. Have you ever seen anyone like that, and have you gotten the chance to see Chris pitch a lot this season?
No, not really. Nobody in my college is a big mix-up on the mound like that, but he makes it look so easy. That's the best way to put it. I mean, you see guys like putting everything in their entire body into throwing the baseball. He just steps and throws, and it comes out about mid-80s, looks like. So he's definitely somebody to watch. I like him. Great guy off the field.
He's got one of the best ERAs on this team. As a reliever, his ERA is under 1, so he's actually near one of the team records in reliever ERA, and he had that start the other night against the River Bandits a couple of weeks ago. But as a reliever, he's been extremely reliable, and he's got the first 2 outs here in the 6th, trying to keep the Steamers ahead by 1. Against Jack Morick, the 3rd different hitter he's faced in the inning. That one's inside, and Morick,
that umpire doesn't like high fastballs.
He's going to head down to first. I don't think it was ball 4. Maybe he thought it got him. And I think, well, it looked like they were going to give him the base. The umpire pointed to first. I think Morick's still unsure. The runner at first, Adams, moved from first to second, because that would have only been ball 2 of the at-bat. So
it didn't hit him.
It didn't look like it from here.
No, not at all.
No, he seemed pretty convinced Jeremiah Boyd behind the plate didn't seem to agree. Now, no signal was made, so do you think they can even make the runner go back? Because it's not like it. Maybe
he definitely, since he pointed down to first, I think he can. Okay, never mind.
And now they are going to send him back. Yeah.
So I guess the umpire got fooled. I guess he thought he heard it clip him, but
I guess so.
From up here in the booth, it did not look like it hit him at all.
Yeah, at first I thought I must have missed a few pitches because I only had one ball on here, and he just took off. But I guess you're right. They must have thought it hit him, and Ben Adams tried to take second base.
It was definitely up and in, but it wasn't that far in.
So the count is 2-2 to Jack Morrick against Chris Morris. So that one's down in the dirt. 3-2 the count. Adams will be off on the pitch.
I was happy to see Squid finally get an inning after being here. I was excited to see him throw.
Hadn't pitched since June 16th, and he missed a lot of time with the injury, and he's been ready to go for a bit, so it was good to see him out there.
I hardly ever see guys that are just about as tall as me, so it's interesting. It's interesting to see them do what they do out there on the mound.
That one's up and in, ball 4. Morrick reaches to put 2 on the bases for the Redbirds. And yeah, it was funny. You could tell he was trying to find his control, and finally, once he was able to lock back in, I mean, when you don't pitch for a month, it's going to take a bit of adjustment, just being thrown out there in the middle of a game. But it was good to see him at least get that inning under his belt as we go towards the end of the season.
When I got down here, I don't think I pitched for a week, and I mean that just a week threw me off.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you could take 2 or 3 days off and it'd mess with your stuff.
Bryce Jones at the plate now for the Redbirds. He'll take inside for a ball. He's got a couple of hits tonight, including an RBI single in his last at bat. The 1-0 from Morris is grounded to the right side. Abbott's going to scoop it up, flip to first, is in time to Morris covering for the final out.
PFPs, let's go.
Chris Morris keeps the Steamers ahead in the 6th. We'll head to the home half of inning number 6 with the Steamers ahead 4-3. Is your kid a fan of the Clam? Why not sign them up for the Steamers Kids Club, presented by Weatherly Insurance. Membership is free for all kids ages 12 and under. They receive 4 free tickets, a club t-shirt, a discount to baseball camp, and an invitation to an exclusive meet and greet event with the players. You can visit EdentonSteamers.com and download a registration form today. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field for this broadcast of Steamers baseball on the Edenton Steamers YouTube channel. I'm Luke Milai, joined alongside the man that started this game for the Steamers tonight, Logan Fleming. We've got a new pitcher on the mound now for the Redbirds. It's Alex Brown coming into the game to relieve Jacob Regini, who started and went the first 5 innings for the Redbirds on the mound. He had a solid start out there, but it was those three big hits, those 3 home runs that really roughed up Regini in this game and have the Steamers ahead 4-3.
I mean, it happens. Sometimes you're pitching solid, but you just can't help but give up that home run ball. I mean, it's definitely happened to me last year in college in the fall. We always played on these real small fields, and I couldn't help but give up at least 1 home run a game. And it took me forever to figure out why, but then I just realized, I'm like, these guys have been in junior college for about maybe 3 years. Some of them only 1 or 2, but if you throw a fastball over the plate, it's not coming back, or they're gonna make you pay for it at least.
There's a lot of good hitters, and one of those good hitters up at the plate right now. Jeremiah Boyd has 1 of the 3 home runs tonight. He's reached twice in this game. He's walked and has that solo home run. And just same here at historic Hicks Field. It's 300 right down that left field line, and 298 down the right field line. So it's
Scary.
A home run fan-friendly park. Scary for a guy from your point of view on the mound. It's the 1-1's outside.
Especially since when it gets up in the air, you have to look at the flag to tell. But when it gets up in the air, you don't know if it's going to carry out or if it's going to hit up against that big wall and left. It's scary.
Yeah, you have a little bit of an assist. It's an 18-foot wall, and Jeremiah might have went right over it again, way out to left field, and it's gone. For the second time in 3 games, Jeremiah Boyd has a multi-home run game. It's his second solo shot of the night, and the Steamers lead it 5-3.
I told you at the All-Star game, he can turn on one when he can turn it on when he wants to.
Man, you said it. Ashton Roy, the assistant coach, said it. Jeremiah, since that derby, has been 4 home runs since the home run derby. That was back on Friday. In 6 days, he's added 4 more home runs to his tally. He's got a team lead now 8 on the season. Man.
That's exactly what I mean. But when you give up a hit like that, you know it's going out. But something a little softer contact-wise, you don't know. Because we were hitting BP earlier today, and I don't know if y'all can see it from the camera, but there's these little wooden posts on top of the left field wall, and he hit the highest pop-up I think I've ever seen, and it scraped the top of one of those little poles and went out.
And see, I was out there on the day of the derby as Jared Beebe's hit by a pitch. He'll reach first. I was wondering, those poles, they're behind the wall, but they're kind of connected to the wall, so I wasn't sure if it counts as part of the wall, and I wasn't sure if an umpire would be able to tell if it hit that pole and came back since it's just so close.
And that's the thing, some of them are bigger than other ones. So I don't know what the rule with that would be, if it hit one of those things, if it would be ruled a home run or if it would be dealt as if it was in the park.
It's right there. It might be up to how the fielder plays it as well. That's usually how I tell if the balls go out or not from here. You can tell when they're crushed, like the one Jeremiah just hit, but otherwise it's a lot of relying on the left fielder out there.
I can't imagine this being a high school field with metal bats. I feel like they hit so many home runs here.
You'd have to imagine. And Davis Halstead, one of those guys that played high school ball here, had 2 home runs this past season. He's got 2 home runs already with the Steamers this summer. Hunter Cole up at the plate now for Edenton with nobody out here in the 6th. The Steamers have added 1 on in the inning thanks to the home run from Jeremiah Boyd. They're up by 2, looking to add on with Jared Beebe over at first. Cole gets under that one, lifts it out to shallow center field. Moving in is Bryce Jones. He'll make the call and make the catch for out number 1. And that'll bring Tyler West up to the plate for the 3rd time tonight with 1 out here in the 6th.
I gotta ask, you like T. West's new haircut?
I don't think I've seen it. I didn't see him today.
He took his braids out. He's
and now it's all
got
out.
The fro rolling right now.
Yeah, he did that once earlier this season. I love it.
Just wait for him to go back in the dugout and take his helmet off.
So we were just informed by PA man Tommy West, these guys both from Chowan University, that being Alex Brown on the mound and Tyler West at the plate, so definitely adds to the matchup here.
It makes it a lot more fun.
It's similar to
bragging rights are on the line right
exactly. Here. When they go back to school next season, one of them is going to be able to go back to this at bat as West takes inside. Beebe nearly goes. He'll head back to first. 2-0 the count.
Because that's live ABs in my school. That's all it is. It's who can win bragging rights. But some guys, not saying I'm one of those guys, but some guys are kind of humble about it. They don't say too much.
Yeah. Now, let's say you went up against Bryce, your teammate over there. If you were able to get Bryce out, is that a guy that you would take bragging rights with, or?
Bryce, nah, it's all love. It's all love. Because I know Bryce wouldn't do that to me if say he comes up and hits a bomb off me. He'll say something to me like when I get back in the dugout, but that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. If I strike him out, I'm gonna say something to him one time, and then that'll be it.
West at the plate in a 2-1 count with Jared Beebe over at first. Brown's pitch. He fouls it off straight back. 2-2 the count to West. Man, I really want to see him go back to the dugout now and take this helmet off. Hopefully it's off a home run and not an out. Hopefully that's how we see him heading back there.
I don't know how he keeps it underneath the hat because my hat has shrunk a lot because I sweat a lot and then I leave it in my truck and it shrinks.
West sends it the other way out to right field. Trent Jones under that one. He'll make the catch for out number 2.
But it's barely sitting on top of my head, and then I saw him take his braids out, and the first question I asked him was, how is that going under your hat?
It's a valid question, and
I think he's wearing a little like ponytail kind of deal right now.
Yeah, that might be the only way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no way. If it looks similar at all to what it was earlier in the season when he took it out, it looks great, but it is impossible.
During BP, it's a headband. It's not a hat, which is a smart move on his part.
Back to the top of the order for the Steamers. Nate Paulson at the plate. He'll take low and away for a ball, 1-0.
Longhorn Batco hitter of the week right there.
Nate's been one of the best hitters this season, and obviously this week he was hitting over 500 at 8 hits.
I still find it hilarious that my assistant coach at my college is like one of the main guys for Longhorn. Like he was bringing batting gloves, and he wore a shirt one day that was like Evo Shield, had the logo on it. I think he brought in a few bats. I think he had his own fungo that he brought to practice every day, but seeing all the signs on the seats, it's crazy.
Now, have you benefited from any of that Longhorn merch?
No.
Is that against the rules? I think that might be against the rules.
No, it's just I don't know what you'd make for pitchers, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you could make a T-shirt or something. I'd wear it, but other than that, he's not gonna make a glove. That's about the only thing I'd probably be able to wear up there.
Wear a batting glove under your normal glove,
maybe an arm sleeve, but I don't wear arm sleeves.
Paulson swings and misses. 2-2 the count. Nate's still looking for his first hit tonight. He's 0 for 3 at the plate. But he's moved into this leadoff spot for a reason. 468 on base percentage, 354 batting average at the plate. A big threat at the top of the Steamers' order with the count 2-2. Out in front, barely able to foul it off to the right side to stay alive. How frustrating can that be when you got a guy at 2 strikes, you make a really good pitch, and they still foul it away and they keep the at-bat going?
I mean, it's not really frustrating. I mean, in a tight game, yeah, it's frustrating. Or no, when it happens repeatedly, that's when it gets frustrating.
And he leaves
like when they foul 3 or 4 off in a row, you're like, okay, just hit the ball or swing and miss one time.
At that point, put it in play.
Yeah.
So that one got by Adams behind the plate. That'll allow Beebe to move into scoring position for Paulson as the count fills up 3-2.
Which, with me, whenever that happens, I try to just like say I threw him like a fastball as hard as I could. I'll try to take like 3 or 4 miles an hour off that and see if I can get him to roll over it or hit it backside to one of the infielders.
Paulson gets under it, lifts it foul on the first base side and out of play, so he'll stay alive with the count 3-2.
Or it could be the other way around. If I'm late in the game and I'm like my legs are tired, and my arms a little tired, then I just try to run one up there real fast. Like I did it to, who was it? I think it was one of the 3 or 4 hole hitter in one of my last innings.
Mm-hmm.
I ran a fastball up and in, and he missed it.
Yeah. Had a guy on with Zarnowski, their cleanup guy at the plate, and you struck him out swinging.
How many Ks did I have?
In the 3rd inning.
I didn't keep track.
It was, I believe it was 6. Yeah, you ended with 6 tonight.
Ah, that's pretty good.
6 strikeouts through 4 innings. Pretty solid start. And, you know, on a night that you started and your team's out ahead when you leave the game, I think that's where you want to be.
My goal every time is to keep them below 3 runs.
And that one, a called strike 3 at the knees. I don't think Paulson agrees. It's the first strikeout of the game for Brown.
He gave me that call while I was pitching, so I can't say anything about that.
And that's going to wrap up the 6th inning here at historic Hicks Field. The Steamers do add another run on another solo home run from Jeremiah Boyd. We'll head to the 7th here in Edenton with the Clams ahead by 2. Edenton IT has all your repair needs. Another cracked phone screen, they've seen it. A computer virus has taken over, they've battled it. In dire need of family filtering? Well, every family could use some of that. Call Edenton IT at 252-573-4591. For all your computer service needs, you can visit them at downtown Edenton at 203 South Broad Street. Hello and welcome back to this broadcast of Steamers Baseball. I'm Luke Mealy alongside the starting pitcher for tonight, Logan Fleming. As we've got a new man on the mound, Cole Langley on the rubber for the first time this season for Edenton. And he'll face the good part of the Redbirds order. 3, 4, and 5 for Norfolk due up. Aiden Feather set to lead things off. So a couple of guys that haven't gotten a ton of action this season. Langley obviously came to the team late, so it's his first time here. As that one's fouled away. 1-1 the count. And Cameron Lewis, who hadn't pitched in over a month thanks to an arm injury, and was able to finally get an inning under his belt. So it's good to see a lot of these guys getting into the game with the seeding pretty much wrapped up for you guys and locked into that second seed. You're going to get that first round bye in the postseason in about a week.
It's so weird to hear you call Squid that. I'm not used to him hearing his first name.
I know everyone does call him Squid. That's Cameron Lewis's nickname. Has a big squid tattoo, but up here the people don't all know him as Squid.
A lot of tattoos, not just a squid tattoo.
A lot of tattoos, yes.
I can't say anything. They're pretty cool.
They're very good. So Langley set to attend Mid-Atlantic Christian University. Went to Albemarle School for his high school career. Actually played growing up with Tanner Thatch and Davis Halstead, so knew a couple of guys coming into this season.
That's two guys to play with.
Mm-hmm. And that one is sent high out towards left field. Moving back is Cole. That one's up against the wall. Cole will get it in. And it's a long single for Aiden Feather off the teal monster out in the left. And the Redbirds have a man aboard with nobody out.
I would say that's the one thing about this field that I really like. If they tattoo one and they get it off that wall, if the outfielder gets it in fast enough, it's just a hard hit single.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those this season. A lot of long singles that. And it's an 18-foot wall up there, so it does protect you 100%. A little bit.
I think Tarboro hit one on me. I can't remember.
One of those long singles?
Yeah, long single. It was, I think it was their 3-hole hitter.
Yeah.
And he hit one off that Elizabeth City, North Carolina sign up there. And I think T. West was there to play it right as it fell, and he didn't advance to second.
A lot of those guys, when you hit it that hard, they usually think it's gone.
That wasn't a strike?
That one's inside on Zarnowski.
Wow.
2-0 the count. Zarnowski still looking to reach for the first time tonight. He struck out twice and bunted a couple of guys over his last time at the plate.
I'm going to apologize. I'm using a lot of nicknames up here. I'm sorry for all the people that are watching.
Well, that's perfect.
I'm not used to calling them by their actual names.
That's perfect. It's my job to clarify, but you can go ahead and give all the nicknames you want. We got Squid for Cameron Lewis. Anything for Cole, or we just got him at Cole Langley? Is it?
Cole.
Yeah, Cole.
It's just with me. Everybody either uses my last name or my first name, which Jeremiah's a special case. He calls me Tree.
Oh, it's that height you talked about.
Yeah. Which I can't say anything. Everybody at my junior college called me that too.
Yeah. So that one again is a bit inside to Zarnowski. 3-0 the count. Representing the tying run here in the 7th inning with the Steamers ahead 5-3. The 3-0. Taken for a called strike. 3-1 the count.
If he can mix in his off speed, he'll be fine. That's the biggest thing I noticed with this lineup. If you can flip your off speed, like definitely my curveball, my changeup are my game changers. If I can play my fastball off those two pitches, I'll throw like I did tonight. I'll keep them 3 or less.
And Langley trying to keep him at just 3 right now. He got Zarnowski to foul that one off. So he works back into the count. It's full at 3-2. Aiden Feather over at first for the Redbirds. Nobody out here in the 7th. 7 hits tonight for the Redbirds compared to 6 for the Steamers, but Steamers have sent 3 or 4 now over the fence, and that's the difference in this game. 3-2 pitch, a bit high, ball 4, and the Redbirds have 2 aboard with nobody out.
I feel like they should have one less hit, but BB caught a tough break over that third on that softly hit ground ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hate to see it happen, but it does happen.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, when I first met your dad, one of your first games here out in Tarboro, he mentioned to me, he was like, Logan's really good, but he didn't have a great defense behind him because Bryce was making all these errors out in the field. And he was like, and he mentioned that Bryce was at shortstop. I was like, Bryce is always at second here. You won't really ever see Bryce at short.
You can't do that to Bryce.
That's what he was saying.
You can't do that to Bryce.
Bryce has been very solid this summer over at second.
100%. That's the weirdest thing about him was when you put him at shortstop. Yeah, he'd make some routine errors, which as a pitcher you can't get mad at those guys. I mean, you can be mad in the moment, but once you step back on the rubber, you have to flush it.
Oh, yeah.
But when you put him at second base, he makes – I'll tell you a story because this basically represents how it works. He played shortstop for, I think, the first 2 innings, and then I think I got pulled off the mound. No, I didn't get pulled off the mound. He got switched to second, and our other shortstop came in. First pitch back, I gave up a little hard hit line drive, basically about 10 feet away from second base that way, where Bryce is playing.
Okay.
Dives, catches, flips it to second. Shortstop turns around and flips it to first. we almost had a triple play. First pitch after he got moved to second.
Man, it's just that spot on the field. That's where he locks in.
He turns into a Gold Glove defensive player.
Lakos at the plate. He'll show bunt for the second consecutive pitch, and it's down low again. 2-0 the count.
Come on, Cole.
So Lakos trying to move that tying run right now at first, trying to move these guys into scoring position with less than 2 outs. Tate Abbott at first and Jared Beebe at third over on the infield grass, ready for the bunt. Lakos 1 for 2 today with an infield hit. He's also walked in this game.
I see what Jeremiah's trying to do back there. He's trying to get him to throw an off-speed pitch in the zone so the spin will mess up the bunt. He had me doing that a few times whenever they were trying to.
It's popped up right back to Langley, right on cue, Logan, and it's out number 1 here in the 7th.
Same wavelength right there.
See, that's the insight we've been missing. I could never have brought that to a broadcast. That's a big out number 1 for Langley on the mound, and now Trent Jones up at the plate for the Redbirds. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Now, do you think they go back to the bunt here and still try and move him over? Or do you think they let him swing away?
I feel like they'd want to get a base hit more right here because that bunt doesn't go as planned, and say that guy at second has to hold there, and they throw that guy out there. 2 outs, but hey,
and then
I'm not a coach, so I can't say nothing.
As Jones shows bunt, it's fouled straight back into the net, 0-1 the count. And they've done that a lot tonight. Whenever they get someone on, they're showing bunt. And I think it has a lot to do. They were shut out the last time they were here. They're trying to manufacture runs as much as they can. A lot of their guys, most of their hits are all singles, so I think they're just trying to move guys over, and then a single would score you as opposed to a single with a guy at first doesn't do much. The 0-1 now he'll take. And
I know from experience, definitely, because my junior college likes to play small ball a lot, which we like to bunt, we like to hit and run, we like to steal.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a game changer when you constantly can bring that to the field every day and you can turn it on when you want to. We definitely have had a lot of home runs, hard hit balls tonight, but you don't have to have that every game to win. Because when you can put pressure on the guy on the mound, it makes so much more of a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Blake Gibson, sorry, he was talking me up in the dugout because they were stealing a lot on me, and I wasn't switching up my looks, and I wasn't changing my timing and my tempo. He just said, "They're gonna run. That's what they're good at." And he was just like, "You just got to come set and hold it."
So that one was fought off over to first. Langley was able to field and tag the bag. The runners advanced, but it is out number 2 here in the 7th. So that's another big out for Langley as the Redbirds now need a hit to bring home that run. But yeah, they're a team that they do try to steal a lot. Every time they got a guy on base, they were taking off.
I mean, and I can't even be mad at the hit and run that scored, I think, their second run.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most perfectly executed hit and run that I've ever seen. Runner takes off. I think I threw a low and outside fastball. Dude took it backside and hit it exactly where the second baseman was, but the second baseman was covering second base.
Exactly, right where Cottle was, and he had to go take over the bag. So yeah,
I was in my head. I said yes, and then I turned around and he wasn't there, and I said no, because shortstop at my school, shortstop and second base like to switch it up, whoever covers in certain situations and whatnot, but you can't really control that. It's one of those things about being a pitcher.
So Wes Bonney at the plate now. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Had an RBI single back in the 2nd. He's got 2 in scoring position with his team down by 2 in the 7th. Cole Langley on the mound trying to keep the Steamers ahead. 0-1 the count to Bonney.
Off speed. Yep.
They go off speed, and it's outside. 1-1 the count. Bonney, one of the 8 All-Stars on this Redbirds team.
They had 8?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Wow.
Especially when there were 4 teams representing the North All-Stars this season.
That's crazy. What? We had
15.
We had 15.
But we were,
yeah, but
we were one of 2.
Yeah. 2 teams.
2 teams, as that one's fouled away. The Steamers and the River Bandits representing the South All-Star team this season. The Steamers had 15 All-Stars. The River Bandits had 14. So it makes a little more sense. Exactly. So Cole Langley's 1 strike away from getting out of this 7th inning, where the Redbirds put the first 2 men on, but he's got back-to-back outs. 1-2 the count to Wes Bonney, 2 for 3 tonight.
I definitely feel like the situation he's in sucks. Coming here, and he was just like me. He hasn't pitched in about a week or so since he's got here. And then the first time on the hill, home game, you're in a tight spot. Terrible feeling.
It's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, but there's always pressure. out there. Doesn't matter if there's nobody on base or if the bases are loaded. I mean, if you don't put the ball in that invisible little box, it's gonna end bad for you. And I can definitely say that because I've had trouble spotting a lot recently.
2-2
I got to get
the
out
count.
of the habit of walking the first guy or walking some guy at some point during the inning.
Pitch. Swung on, just fouled away by Bonney. And he'll stay alive. It's 2-2. So you guys, you're locked into that second spot, but I still think there is a lot of meaning in these last few games, just in terms of going into the playoffs on the right foot, making sure everyone's going in on the right foot, and getting everybody a little bit more experience this season.
The only thing I'm disappointed about is the 2 games we're supposed to play next week against Tarboro don't mean anything.
They do not add to the seeding at all. So
I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but I heard from one of the Tarboro guys that they're throwing nothing but position players. They're trying to save their pitching, which that's a smart idea.
Let's chop back to Langley. His throw to first is in time, and Cole Langley throws a scoreless 7th inning in his first outing as a Steamer. We'll head to the home half of the 7th here at historic Hicks Field with the Steamers ahead by 2. Hello and welcome back to Historic Kicks Field for this broadcast of Steamers baseball with the Clams ahead by 2. I'm Luke Mealy alongside Logan Fleming, the man that started this game tonight for Edenton, and a big relief appearance there for Cole Langley, a shutout 7th inning to keep the team ahead. And now the 2, 3, 4 spots in the Steamers order due up. It's Chase Bruno leading things off. He'll take outside for a ball. It's 1-0 against Alex Brown, still on the mound for the Redbirds. Bruno takes up high, 2-0. Chase still looking to reach for the first time tonight. He's 0 for 3 in the game. Two-0 pitch. He's under. It lifts it. Foul territory to the right side and out of play. 2-1.
He wanted that so bad. I could tell he swung out of his shoes.
These are the pitches, 2-0, 3-1. That's when you're going to get usually the best ones to hit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I see it a lot when I pitch, too, just because I have a bad habit of getting behind in the count on like my first batter or batter anytime during the inning. And when you go up to 2-0, 3-0,
sends that one high in the air to left field. If it's fair, it's out of here. And that one is gone for the second straight night. Chase Bruno with a solo home run. It's the 5th home run of the game for the Steamers. It's a 6-3 game.
I didn't see that one land. I lost it once it got up above the roof.
That is 4 solo home runs and a 2-run home run tonight. That's making the most of every swing. 5 home runs of the 7 hits you guys have. That's big time. A lot of power in the Steamers lineup today. For Chase, that's now his 4th home run of the season, and once again, 2nd in as many nights.
I mean, what can I say? I give these guys a lot of good advice.
That's what you got to do up here. You got to take all the credit. You got to.
Nah, I haven't hit in what 2 years now. We took on-field BP, the POs did, but I think I hit one off the wall. I was kind of proud of myself for that.
That's good. He'll take that.
But other than that, a lot of pop-ups and ground balls.
And now, do you also swing righty? Or you
yes,
throwing? Okay.
Yes. I wish I swung lefty.
Cottle gets under that one, lifts it out to right field, and he'll be retired for the first time tonight as that one's caught by Trent Jones.
I could care less about hitting lefty. Throwing lefty would be awesome.
I know, and with this team in particular, with the Steamers, not a lot of lefties on the mound. You got Nicky, and then if Tanner's here, he can throw, but otherwise, not a lot. Now, I'm not sure if your timeline aligned with Jack Van Doren. Were you here when Jack was here?
I think he left. I think Bruno and Bryce were talking to me about him. He left just before I got here.
Okay. He was a lefty arm that we had. He started a couple of games this season.
Because I got here July 4th that afternoon.
Yeah, it was definitely right around that time. Jackson Hip up to the plate. He's
missed the
even 1-1. That one's a called strike.
I was going to say I just missed the 4th of July game by a day, but I got really distracted by that strike call.
Hips had a good night, a 2-run home run in his last at bat. He's also been hit by a pitch in this game as that one hits the other corner. 1-2 the count.
It's not my place to say, but I definitely feel like Hip's going to give this umpire some words after this at bat.
1-2 the count, the pitch, and Jackson gets the bat on it. Slow chopper out to short. Lako's running in, and he's unable to make the play. Jackson Hip aboard with 1 out here in the 7th. See, it's probably the way that bat should have ended up.
That's definitely how it should have went.
He earned that first base.
A bomb would have went off at home plate if Hip would have struck out right there or popped up of some kind of deal that would have been bad.
That's the first error of the night for the Redbirds defense, and that'll bring Tate Abbott up to the plate. Tate 1 for 3 tonight.
I want to see Tate hit a home run like he did in the All-Star game again. Oh, my goodness, that ball was
Man, when Tate
massacred.
Gets him, he gets him. He's got only 3 home runs in game this season, but I feel like every time he hits one, it is a long way. He's ahead 1-0 against Brown. He'll take that one in the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1.
Which I find it way more satisfying when the lefties go deep because they 90% of the time they hit one off that scoreboard.
Yeah. Tatum, I've told the story a bit in that mini home run derby we had to decide the final spot in the derby.
Yeah.
He hit a ton off that scoreboard. And a balk is called against Brown, so Jackson Hipp will move into scoring position for Tate Abbott.
Hate when that happens.
I know all the things you're already worrying about, and the umpire's just giving a guy another base.
I can't worry about it in the moment, but when I'm off the field and I'm not pitching anymore, I can say it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you get to the point where you're exhausted out there and nothing's working, it can happen. I mean, like you don't do it out of habit or anything. You do it self-consciously. Like you'll move your glove hand just a little bit, or you'll move your foot just a little bit, or your shoulder will twitch.
That's all it takes. Just one
or a gnat could fly in your eye and you swipe it away. That's a balk. I mean,
1-2 the count to Abbott with Jackson Hipp down at second. That one's outside, 2-2.
a lot of movement on that pitch.
Yeah, it was
Not spotted.
I almost said way outside, and then it started to come back. It's
If that backdoor slider or curveball, whatever it was, if that would have got a K on me, I would probably be a little bit more impressed than that. Because that looked like it started where the chalk for the left field line.
Abbott rolls that one to second. Throw to first is in time by Feather for out number 2, and Hipp advances to third on the play.
He did a job. That's all you can do.
Exactly. Just put him 90 feet away.
This is what I was talking about. The atmosphere of the crowd changes when Jeremiah walks into the play. You can't change my mind about it.
He brings such a positive energy to this team, and then obviously on top of that, he's a great player, but
Yes.
he just has such a great personality. He's the guy you always want to be around, and I think everyone here sort of caught wind of that right away. And Jeremiah, it's been a great night for him. 2 home runs and a walk.
Maybe he'll make it 3.
You know, it's got to be in the back of his mind. So that one's a hit off.
I'll knock on wood on the desk just so I don't jinx him.
He's got the power to do it easily. And he's absolutely crushed the 2 balls he's hit out tonight.
If you don't think he's got the power by now, then you just need to leave.
Now leads the team with 8 home runs this season as that one's down low, 2-0.
But what I love about his swing more than anything, it's so short. It's so it's such a short movement, but it's so explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 2 home runs that he's hit tonight have been a great example of that. I mean, when he really barrels one up, it'll hit the roof of that school in left field, or it'll go past that little shed in center field. Which I parked back there, so I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't hit it over that shed, because I can't stand to park in the parking lot in left field.
No chance.
Can't stand it.
No chance.
It makes me so nervous.
And there's some brave souls that park out there.
Oh yeah, a bunch of the guys do.
They haven't.
BB has nothing to worry about because the bumper on it, or not the bumper, but the brush guard on his truck is already fallen off, so it's already worse for wear.
And I think some of the guys, the thing that I think is, if you're going to park out there, the smart thing to do is park right behind the wall. Don't get a bit behind it.
Oh, no, I always
right
park,
under it.
I always park behind somebody with a bigger truck than I do.
Yeah.
like Law's Dodge or Bryce's truck. You just get as close as you possibly can and then roll back.
And they don't give Jeremiah Boyd much to hit in that at bat. He walks for the second time tonight.
Especially since it's my dad's truck and it's not really mine. I feel really bad.
That's the last thing you want when you come here for the summer and say, "Dad, a ball went right through the side of the truck."
Big old spider web on the front windshield, which, in my defense, my Jeep wouldn't have made it up here, so it would have probably fell apart.
So Jared Beebe now at the plate, runners at the corners. It's Jackson Hipp over at third. He reached on an error, and Jeremiah Boyd at first, who walked. Steamers have already added a run in the inning on a Chase Bruno home run, the 5th home run of the game for Edenton.
I definitely think BB's due right here.
He'll chop that one foul. 1-1 the count. He had that one out at Tarboro last week before the All-Star weekend. That was a big home run.
Oh, yeah.
2-run bomb to cut into that was a 7-run game at one point. He made it a 1-run game. You guys were fighting back in that one.
I feel like the games with Tarboro either go one way or the other. It's either a beatdown or it's the closest game that you'll ever watch.
Yeah. 3 1-run games out there alone, and so it's been a lot of close games, and they've obviously.
Which I remember. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. They came out here and they beat us bad.
Yeah, that 14-1 game.
Yes, that was the one.
BB pokes one the other way to second. Feathers got it. His throw to first gets by Zarnowski. A run comes home. So the Steamers just putting the ball in play. They get another on the board. It's now 7-3 Edenton.
He was due. I told you.
It's the second error of the inning for the Redbirds. The second run of the inning for the Steamers. Getting a little bit of insurance here later in the game. And that'll bring Hunter Cole up to the plate with runners at first and second.
A lot of people on the team told me I look like him.
That was the first thing a lot of people thought when he got here.
Couple of good-looking guys.
Of course.
I mean, what can you say?
That's how you got to take it. I mean,
I wish my hair was that long. I can't let it grow I can't let it grow for that long. I cut it.
Is that a personal thing or it can't?
I was going strong over the summer. I hadn't cut it in like I want to say about two months. And then right before I came down here, I was like, I can't do this. Buzzed it all off.
Cole swings and misses. It got by the catcher. Throw down to second is in time.
Nah, I think he got under that.
So Adams is able to throw out BB trying to take second. So that'll wrap up the 7th inning, and that'll wrap up Logan Fleming's time. Logan, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
For sure, man.
So the Steamers add 2 more here in the 7th. They extend the lead to 4. It's 7-3 Edenton as we head to the 8th. Who's ready to rock? The first annual Clam Jam is coming up on Saturday, September 24th. We'll welcome 3 awesome bands to jam out at historic Hicks Field. Starting at 4 p.m. that afternoon, PB&J will take the stage, followed by the Eric Dunlow Band at 6, and the headlining Daniel Jordan Band at 8. Advanced tickets will be available at EdentonSteamers.com for $15 or can be purchased at the gate that night for $20. Bring your lawn chair and take the field for the rockin' event. Numerous food and beverage options will be available all night. We hope to see you there. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers are out ahead 7-3. It's been a home run party for the Clams tonight. 5 home runs in this game. They've got 7 total hits, and 5 have left the yard. It's been a lot of fun to be a Steamer fan tonight, and back out for his second inning on the mound is Cole Langley. The 4th different pitcher used in this game by Edenton through a scoreless 7th inning for the Clams. And now he'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the Redbirds lineup here in the 8th. Ben Adams leading things off for the Redbirds. And he'll take for a called strike, 0-1 the count. Adams came into this game for Trevor Self, who started out behind the plate for the Redbirds. So that one gets between the legs of Boyd, 1-1 the count. Adams singled in his only at bat tonight. Trevor Self in his 2 at bats, he grounded out twice, but he brought a run home. So this 8th spot has been efficient for the Redbirds in this game. So that one gets by Boyd as well. 2-1 the count. So this was a back and forth game earlier tonight. It was the Steamers getting out ahead 1-0. Then it was tied up. Then the Redbirds took a 2-1 lead before the Steamers scored 1 to tie it. Then the Redbirds retook the lead at 3-2. And since then, it's been 5 unanswered runs for Edenton. As that one's just off the plate. 3-1 now to Adams. The Redbirds have threatened in the last couple of innings, but haven't been able to put anything across Cole Langley or Cameron Lewis, as that one's across for a called strike. 3-2 the count. Cameron Lewis pitched a scoreless 6th inning, and Langley had a scoreless 7th. That pitch is down and away, ball 4. So Adams works a leadoff walk here to begin the 8th, and he's aboard with nobody out. It's the second time that Adams has reached tonight. Now Jackson Hughes up to the plate for the second time. Cole Langley once again just wrapped up school at Albemarle School. Set to attend Mid-Atlantic Christian University. And I saw in a story I was reading about Langley, his head coach next year, Michael Lewis. As soon as he signed, as soon as he made the commitment, it was declared that he's going to be one of the top starters this upcoming year. So high expectations for Cole Langley this upcoming year at school, and just trying to get some more innings under his belt here in Edenton. Once again, this is his first appearance of the season. He's up against Jackson Hughes at the plate, and Hughes will foul that one straight back. A couple of guys got on and into scoring position against Langley back in the 7th, but he was able to work around it. With 2 men on and nobody out, he got the next 3 guys on really softly hit balls. Made some big-time pitches with his buddy and fellow pitcher on the Steamers staff, Logan Fleming, up here with me. Pitch to Hughes. Outside. 1-2 now the count to Hughes. Hughes came into the game for Jason Bosher, who started out in left field. He struck out a couple of times. And for Hughes, he lined out in his only at-bat tonight. Langley's got him in a 1-2 count. The pitch, slow chopper foul over to the Steamers dugout. 1-2 will remain the count. Langley from the stretch with his team ahead by 4. The 1-2. Down in the dirt again. 2-2 the count. It got a bit past Jeremiah Boyd. He's able to retrieve it and keep Adams over at first. Langley getting some claps of encouragement from the crowd here at Historic Hicks Field on a hot night. Not a ton of people made it out tonight, but again, 94 degrees at first pitch. That one's fought off, fouled again to the right side. A couple of 2-strike foul balls from Hughes to keep the at-bat going. So Cole Langley again is going to have to make that final pitch. The 2-2 to Hughes. Swing and a miss. The first strikeout of the season for Cole Langley, and it's out number 1 here in the 8th. And that'll bring Jack Morick up to the plate. Jack Morick, his second time up at the plate tonight. He walked the only time he came up, and he'll take a called strike there. 0-1 the count. It's Ben Adams over at first. He's reached twice tonight for the Redbirds. We're trying to chip away at this 4-run deficit. That one swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Langley really starting to lock in here later in the game. Now into his second inning of work. I think Logan mentioned it on the broadcast. Logan Fleming, the man that started this game for the Steamers. It takes so much time to adjust. And for a guy like Langley, came to this team later in the summer to get some innings. It's his first appearance of the season, and he's got back-to-back strikeouts. 2 outs here in the 8th. Langley has racked up a couple Ks here in the inning. And that'll bring Bryce Jones up to the plate. Jones coming up for the 5th time tonight. He's 2 for 4 at the plate. He's knocked in a run as well. Jones will let the first pitch come across for a called strike. 0-1. Langley again really pounding the zone here in the 8th. Had a walk back in the 7th, a walk at the beginning of this inning, and now starting to find that zone from the stretch. The 0-1. Down low. It's 1-1 the count. Steamers and Cole Langley trying to keep the Redbirds scoreless for the 3rd consecutive inning. In their 4th trip to Historic Hicks Field this season, the Steamers 2-1 at home against the Redbirds, 3-1 against Norfolk overall. 1-1 is floated out towards center field. Moving in is Nate Paulson, and he's going to get it on one hop. So it's a 2-out single for Bryce Jones, his 3rd hit of the night, and the Redbirds have 2 on and 2 outs. Aiden Feather coming up to the plate now for the Redbirds for the 5th time tonight. He's walked twice, and he's also got a hit. He was the first batter to face Cole Langley tonight, had a single. It's the first time Langley's had to face someone the 2nd time through in this game. First pitch is a bit off the plate, 1-0 the count. Fifth batter of the inning that Langley's faced, trying to get the final out here in the 8th and keep the Steamers ahead by 4. That hit for Jones was the 8th of the game for the Redbirds. That one's hit high in the air out to left center field, moving back towards the fence, looking up, and that one is gone. A 3-run bomb for Aiden Feather, and the Redbirds have cut right back into this game. It's now a 7-6 game here at Historic Hicks Field. That's the first home run of the game for the Redbirds. The Steamers have 5, but Aiden Feather, a big blast, and that's how you chip away at a 4-run game. And that'll bring Zach Zarnowski to the plate with the Redbirds down 1. So Langley back to the windup to face Zarnowski. That one's outside, 1-0. Yeah, Feather sure looked like he knew he got all that one. Didn't move much after he made contact. And sometimes, as Logan mentioned, you can get helped out by that wall out in left field, but nothing was going to help that ball. Zarnowski gets under it, lifts it up in the infield. Langley was ranging under it. Now it's Boyd who will call him off and make the catch for out number 3. The Redbirds get a big swing to chip back into this one. A 3-run home run from Aiden Feather makes it a 1-run game as we head to the home half of the 8th. Well, fans, summer's here, and you know what that means. Graduation, parties, and cookout season. Bill Gardner's Biggs Party Tent is the perfect place to host your next get-together. Schedule a picnic before the game for your next birthday bash, graduation gathering, or business rendezvous. It's the classic choice for family summer fun. Call the office at 482-4080 for more details. Thank you to Bill Gardner and Biggs Cadillac Buick GMC for their support of the Steamers and sponsoring our newest addition to Historic Hicks Field. Hello and welcome back to Historic Hicks Field, and we've got an out-of-town scoreboard update. The Tarboro River Bandits took down the Virginia Beach Sea Dogs 18-3 tonight to clinch the #1 seed in the Premier Collegiate League. So that officially locks the Steamers into that #2 spot heading into the postseason. So they will have that home playoff game on August 4th. But if they were to win that one, the championship game, it's still to be decided. As Hunter Cole swings at the second pitch he sees, lifts it high in the air to left. Is it another one? It is gone! The 6th home run of the game for the Steamers. This time it's Hunter Cole. It's Cole's 2nd home run of the season, and the Steamers lead it 8-6. A warm welcome for Bradshaw Morrison into the game for the first time on the mound tonight. Unbelievable. This is the most power we've seen all season. 5 solo home runs and 1 2-run home run. And that'll bring Tyler West to the plate. Tyler West at the plate. He's 0 for 3 in this game. And he'll take that one for a called strike, 0-1. 6 home runs in one game. That's the most for the Steamers in any game this season. Remember, Jeremiah Boyd's got a pair of his own. So that one swung on and missed. 0-2 the count now to West. We'll see where the Steamers' pitching staff goes in the 9th. They had Cole Langley out there for the last 2 innings. They've used 4 pitchers tonight. As West swings and misses, he struck out for the 3rd time tonight, and that's out number 1 here in the 8th. But now for the Steamers, this is game number 33 out of 37. None of these games can change their seeding, so I think a lot now will be about trying to stay warm going into the playoffs. That's why they had those 2 games at the beginning of August added to the schedule against Tarboro. They will not affect any seeding, but can still get a lot of arms out there, keep the guys swinging the bats. Otherwise, that's nearly a 5-day break between what would have been the Steamers' last game of the season and their first playoff game. That'll be on August 4th. The 1-0. Up high, 2-0 down, and Nate Paulson who's up to the plate. Nate in the leadoff spot for the 2nd consecutive game. He's 0 for 4 tonight. That one's inside. 3-0 the count now to Paulson. Morrison's 3-0. Down low, ball 4. Nate Paulson is reached for the first time tonight. Steamers trying to add a bit of insurance here in the 8th after the Redbirds showed they can score in a hurry. A 3-run home run from Aiden Feather in the 8th. Made it a 1-run ball game. The Redbirds offense is kept up in terms of hits. They've got 9 hits compared to the Steamers' 8, but 6 of the Steamers' 8 hits have gone over the fence. That is efficient. Now Chase Bruno will come up to the plate with a runner over at first. He has one of those home runs. Had a solo bomb in his last at bat. He'll swing and miss at that one. 0-1 the count. Chase 1 for 4 overall with that home run. He's now homered in back-to-back games. Had the home run last night in the 9th inning in the 8-2 loss to the River Bandits. Now he'll leave that pitch upstairs. 1-1 the count. Six home runs overall for the Steamers. 5 different guys with a home run. 5 of them have been solo home runs. Putting up 8 runs tonight after scoring just 2 last night. Bruno will take that one outside. 2-1. Morrison on the mound, the 3rd different pitcher used by the Redbirds tonight. Did not pitch this spring at Christopher Newport University. He's only thrown 1 inning against the Steamers this season. He threw a scoreless inning in that appearance. As Bruno fights that one off into left field, it's over the head of Lakos at short and in for a single. It's the second hit of the night for Chase Bruno, and the Steamers have a couple aboard with just one out in the eighth. And that'll bring Alden Cottle up to the plate.
Second baseman now, number 13, Alden Cottle.
It's been a good night for Alden Cottle. He's reached 3 times tonight. Had a solo home run, and he's been hit by 2 pitches in this game. It's not really an anomaly for him. He's been hit by quite a few pitches this season. Was hit by 2 in a game in Tarboro earlier this season. He's been hit by 5 overall this summer. So that one, I think they got a bit crossed up there. Adams and his pitcher Morrison, they're going to have another chat after they just had a bit of a chat. But you could tell with the way that Adams had to sort of react quickly to catch that ball, something got mixed up there. So maybe the miscommunication could lead to another big hit for the Steamers. With Alden Cottle at the plate, 2 men on. It's Nate Paulson down at second, who walked, and Chase Bruno over at first, who singled. 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike, 1-1. It's been a good year for Alden at the plate, hitting .286, a .374 on base percentage for the Steamers. He leaves that one up high, 2-1 the count. Nobody else out in the pen for the Redbirds, so this is Bradshaw Morrison's inning to try and wrap things up. The Redbirds do have another at-bat to try and get back into this game. But they don't want to let the deficit get too far out of hand, as the count's now 3-1 to Alden Cottle. And a lot of power bats due up right after Alden. You got a base open, but you don't want to load things up for the guy coming up next, Jackson Hipp. And that's exactly what they do. Alden Cottle draws a walk. It's the second walk of the inning for Edenton. And that'll bring Jackson Hipp up to the plate. Hipp's already got a home run tonight, a 2-run bomb earlier in this game. He's also reached on a hit by pitch. And now head coach Dodolo will have a meeting out at the mound. No more bases open for Jackson Hipp, so they're going to have to pitch to him. He's 1 for 3 in this game, had that home run. He reached on an error and struck out. And as well, he reached on that hit by pitch. He's designated hitting tonight for the Steamers after getting the start last night in right field. A long meeting at the mound for Coach Dodolo. And he'll take the long walk back to the dugout. Morrison gets a couple of fist pumps on the mound from his middle infielders. It's Aiden Feather at second and Justin Lakos at short. Those two guys have hit the ball very well tonight, and they're hoping they get one more chance to swing with the game still within reach. Jackson Hipp trying to put things out of reach now. Dodolo still not back to the dugout. Chatting with the home plate umpire, and now we're just about ready to go. Jackson's got a few big hits in the 8th inning this season. And he'll send that one the other way. Foul, 0-1. Morrison from the stretch, the 0-1 to hit, floats a bit off the plate. It was a bit up as well. 1-1 the count. Steamers have already put one across in the inning on the solo home run from Hunter Cole. Trying to add on here. Hip checks his swing and fouls it to the right side and out of play. 1-2 now the count to Jackson Hip. Jackson's knocked in 20 runs this season. It's tied for second best on the team with Jeremiah Boyd. As that one's a called strike 3. Hips down looking, and that's out number 2 here in the 8th. It's the second strikeout of the inning for Morrison. And that'll bring Tate Abbott up to the plate. Tate 1 for 4 at the plate tonight. Singled back in the second inning, and he's been 0 for 3 since. It's his first time against Morrison tonight. He'll leave the first pitch he sees down in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. It's Nate Paulson over at third, Chase Bruno down at second, and Alden Cottle over at first for the Steamers. And Abbott takes that one well up and away, 2-0 the count. Well, now if you're Abbott, you know it's got to be a good pitch coming here. No free bases. Morrison doesn't want to fall behind 3-0. The pitch. Abbott sends that one high out to center field. Moving back is Jones, running towards the wall, looking up, and it's bouncing up against the wall. 1 run's in. Bruno comes in to score. Here comes Cottle. It's a 3-run double for Tate Abbott. He clears the bases here in the 8th, and the Steamers have blown it open. It's now 11-6 Edenton. A 4-run inning just as the Redbirds have cut it to 1. And Tate Abbott knew he was probably getting a pitch to hit, and boy, did he not miss it. Jeremiah Boyd up to the plate now for the Steamers, and that's way up and in, 1-0 the count. It's been a perfect night for Jeremiah so far, and his 4 appearances at the plate, he's walked twice, and he's got 2 solo home runs. Trying to cap off his 5th plate appearance, reaching once again. And he'll take inside, 2-0 the count. For Jeremiah, it's his 2nd multi-home run game. He had another back on Monday against the Tarboro River Bandits. That one's right at the knees for a called strike. 2-1 the count. Boyd sends that one the other way out to right center field. Moving over from right is Trent Jones. He's under it, and he'll make the catch for the final out of the inning. The Steamers explode for 4 runs here in the 8th. A solo home run from Hunter Cole and a 3-run double from Tate Abbott. We'll head to the 9th here at Historic Hicks Field with the Steamers ahead by 5. Hello and welcome back to historic Hicks Field, where the Steamers are ahead by 5 here in the 9th against the Norfolk Redbirds, looking to close things out. New pitcher on the mound for the Steamers. It'll be Davis Halstead for the first time this season. Halstead, the 5th pitcher used by Edenton tonight, and Davis, although he hasn't pitched in a Steamer uniform, he has pitched in an Edenton uniform with the Edenton Aces in high school. His senior year, he threw in 11 different games at a 3.59 ERA. Threw 27 and a third innings this past spring. That was the 3rd most on his team, so he certainly knows how to carry the load on the mound. And he'll try and get the Steamers to the finish line here against the Redbirds. Dylan Blazer up to the plate now for the first time tonight. Hitting in the spot of Justin Lakos for the Redbirds. So a couple of new faces into the game now with Halstead on the mound and Blazer at the plate. And Blazer will take it up high. 2-0. Blazer went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts the last time these teams matched up. Looking to reach for the first time against the Steamers. They'll take that one up high, 3-0. That one's across for a called strike. The count will move to 3-1. And that's ball 4. So Blazer works a 5-pitch walk to lead off the 9th, and the Redbirds have a man aboard with nobody out. That'll be Sparky Bannon coming up to the plate now to hit for Trent Jones. So plenty of new hitters here late in the game for the Redbirds as they try and mount a 5-run comeback here in the 9th. They put up 3 runs in the last inning. So they've got some firepower if they can get guys on base, and Bannon will take that for a called strike. Once again, Halstead, the 5th different pitcher used tonight for the Steamers. He comes in to relieve Cole Langley, who went the last 2. As Bannon gets under that one, pops it up in the infield. Halstead's outfielder instincts kicking in, and he'll make the running catch. Normally you don't see the pitchers go off the mound like that to go make a running grab, but Davis Halstead certainly has that athletic ability. Felt like he was out in left field again. So that's out number 1 here in the 9th as Wes Bonney was due to come up to the plate. Instead, it's Nicholas Jaskowski coming to the plate for the first time. Jaskowski, the 3rd different guy getting his first at bat here in the 9th. And he'll take an off-speed pitch, just missed. Halstead had him leaning back, and the count's 1-0. Jaskowski, slow grounder over to 3rd. They're not going to have time to get 2, so Beebe will go to 1st and get out number 2. 2 down in the 9th. Blazer advances to 2nd on the throw. And the Redbirds are down to that final out. And that'll bring Ben Adams up to the plate for the 3rd time tonight. And he takes the first pitch from Halstead up high, 1-0. Adams takes a strike, 1-1. Adams singled and walked in his 2 times up tonight. Halstead takes a peek back at second. Here's his 1-1. That one's fought off, out of play, 1-2 the count. Halstead, one of a couple steamers this season who didn't pitch for a big chunk of the year and eventually got the chance. We saw Alden Cottle pitch in a game earlier this season, and now Davis Halstead in for the first time, trying to bring things home here in the 9th. The 1-2 pitch. Off speed, called strike 3. Davis Halstead, his first strikeout as a Steamer, wraps up the game here against the Redbirds. The Steamers win it tonight, 11-6. The Steamers improved to 23-10 overall, 19-10 in Premier Collegiate League play. It's their 4th win over the Redbirds this season, and they'll have a rematch with these same Redbirds tomorrow night. Norfolk falls to 5-13 overall, 4-12 in PCL play, so they continue to sit in that 5th place spot in the Premier Collegiate League. The Steamers will be back in familiar territory tomorrow night right here at Historic Hicks Field when they take on a familiar opponent, the Norfolk Redbirds, once again. We'll see if the Redbirds can get some revenge or if the Steamers can start a winning streak. That's going to do it tonight here from Historic Hicks Field. The Steamers win it over the Redbirds 11-6. We'll see you tomorrow night.